to dance. It all begins Thursday versus Long Beach State. Tip-offs at 11 a.m. with the pregame at 7. It's tournament time on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Get the one and done you want for your dog's monthly protection. NexGard Plus, a Foxalon or Moxidectin and Pyrantel chewable tablets. Protects against fleas, ticks, heartworm disease, roundworms, and hookworms. All in one delicious, beef-flavored soft chew. Use with caution in dogs with a history of seizures or neurologic disorders. Dogs should be tested for existing heartworm infection prior to starting a preventive. Ask your vet about NexGard Plus Chews.
Getting your biggest tax refund from Jackson Hewitt can lead to some spirited reactions.
Jackson Hewitt!
Jackson Hewitt is so sure they'll get you your biggest refund that if they don't, you get your money back plus $100.
Jackson Hewitt!
Switch to Jackson Hewitt and we'll beat what you paid last year, even if you filed online. Ain't nothing to it. Switch to Jackson Hewitt and pay less for tax prep, guaranteed. Proof of prior year payment required when filing. New clients only at participating locations through April 7th. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com.
What's up, folks? Anthony Armstrong here.
Bob Papa, along with Super Bowl champion Carl Banks.
Hey, NFL fans. This is Solomon Wilcox, former NFL safety and host of the Believe in Bengals podcast. Catch my show and all 32 Believe NFL podcasts. Listen in to former players give their inside perspective on your favorite team. Search Believe, that's B-L-E-A-V, on Apple, Spotify, and wherever you get your podcasts.
It's always football season, wherever you listen.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We are the sports station that Tucson turns to for all the latest news when it comes to Arizona men's basketball, along with all the play-by-play action. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
From the what? Central Northwest Tucson. Duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket, getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
And we're coming to you live from Tucson Country Club here. It is the Arizona Thunderbirds Intercollegiate NCAA Men's Golf, and your Arizona Wildcats have just won this tournament by a whopping 13 shots over New Mexico. Now, you'll remember the last time we were out at a University of Arizona men's golf tournament, it was back for the NIT at the end of January, and it was New Mexico that won on that day as the Wildcats finished third. But today, here at Tucson Country Club, it is in fact Arizona on top, finishing with a score of 17 under as a team for the 3 rounds. The Wildcats, in fact, right now are taking a picture together out on the 18th green with their championship trophy. Not only did they win the team championship by 13 shots over New Mexico, but an Arizona Wildcat also took the individual title. Tiger Christensen is the winner of this tournament. He does so with a final round of 65. That's 7 under for the day. That is a new course record for the reconfiguration of Tucson Country Club. They made some changes here, and the 65 that Tiger Christensen shot today is the lowest round since they made the reconfigurations here at Tucson Country Club. He finishes at 10 under par to win this tournament, and he does so by 2 shots over his teammate, Tiani Jiang, a.k.a. Tony Jiang, the freshman, who was actually playing as an individual, which essentially means that he did not make. You know, we had Jim Anderson on, and we talked to him a lot at the last tournament, and they have qualifiers for these tournaments, and so Tony did not necessarily make the playing 5 for this tournament, but played as an individual and finished second at 8 under par for the tournament. So the Wildcats sweeping the podium at this event. They finished 1, 2, 3 as Tiger Christensen at -10, Tioni Jiang at -8, and then Sam Summerhauser finished third at 4 under par. The Wildcats and the New Mexico Lobos, the only two teams, I should say, in this tournament to finish it under par. Everyone else was over par, starting with the third place team, Long Beach State at +8, New Mexico State +15, Wyoming +24, Nevada 6th place at 27 over, then Central Arkansas, Abilene Christian, UTEP, Utah Valley, Sacramento State, George Washington, Utah State, Denver, the University of Denver, Denver University, finishing in 14th place at 56 over par for the tournament. So the Wildcats get the win. I believe this is their second win of the season as a team. They took the the John Burns Intercollegiate in Hawaii. They won that tournament in mid-February. So, yes, indeed, the second win this season as a team for your Arizona Wildcats as they kind of begin to ramp up for the Pac-12 championships, which will be at the end of April. It's somewhat of a overcast day, partly cloudy day out here at Tucson Country Club for the final day of this event. We anticipate we'll have an opportunity to talk to head coach Jim Anderson as well as Tiger Christensen about this tournament here this week. Also, hopefully we'll have a chance to chat with Ryan Davis. He is the general manager of the Tucson Country Club about some of those reconfigurations that they've made. Had a chance to walk in past the new clubhouse that is going up here for both Arizona women's and men's golf, and then the girls, actually the women were practicing. I saw a couple of the women out here practicing. Carolina Malgletti from the women's team was out here. She was on her way to the range when I passed by her a little bit earlier. So the ladies obviously getting in some work here as they start to round down their season. Again, the Pac-12 championships will be April the 26th through the 28th this year here in the state of Arizona up in Carefree at the Desert Forest Golf Club, as Arizona will try to advance to the NCAA regionals as well as have a chance to get to the NCAA championships this year. 520-848-1290 is the number for you to get in on the program. 520-848-1290. Back in studio with us, as always, is J.W. Madden. And J.W., I'll never turn down an opportunity to come down and do a radio show on the golf course.
Yeah, I mean, when you were prepping before we went live, I could hear the wind.
Yeah.
And that's what tells me that you're live at a golf course, because you got to have that wind sound in the mic for sure.
It is a little bit windy here today. Not too bad, but again, I'm a little surprised, and we'll talk to the fellas about how high the scores were this week out here. Normally you would think maybe with the weather being as good as it was that the scores would have been lower, and we'll also maybe get an indication of that from Ryan Davis. Maybe that speaks to how challenging a course that this is out here. I had a chance to just talk to a couple of people, got out and shot a few of the guys on the course and took some video and pictures, and had heard that the greens were very tough this week, very difficult to navigate, and I'm sure when you've got greens that are rolling quickly, that will definitely lead to higher scores out here on the golf course.
Looking at the individual finish scores, DK, what I see is 4 out of the top 6 are from Arizona.
Yeah.
And the other 2 are from New Mexico, meaning maybe the drier desert style courses is something that some of the other players aren't familiar with. But those guys certainly seem to feel pretty comfortable out there with 3 of the 3 top finishers all being from the University of Arizona Wildcats.
Yeah, you mentioned 4 of the top 6. Johnny Walker finished tied for 4th in that grouping there, as he was -2 for the tournament at a total of 214. He shot 73, 72, 69. Tiger Christensen shot 69, 72, and 65. And Tione Gion shot 67, 73, and 68. So definitely it seemed to be a more difficult day yesterday. Not a lot of low numbers yesterday, but you had a few more low numbers today, with obviously Tiger taking the lowest number at 65 a new course record out here for the tournament. Tiger looks like he's heading this way. We'll have a chance to get him on the air here shortly and chat about his win today. And again, just a beautiful course out here. This is going to be the home course moving forward for the University of Arizona. That doesn't necessarily mean that they won't have tournaments at some of the other courses around southern Arizona, but this is definitely going to be one of the courses that is primary to whatever events are held here in the future for the University of Arizona on both the women's and men's side. A lot to get to today. We are also going to take a walk back into University of Arizona men's golf history. Jay Pennypacker is going to join us on the show. Jay was a member of the 1992 Men's National Championship golf team here at the University of Arizona. Jay is now a big-time real estate agent up in Scottsdale, and when I say big-time real estate agent, I mean he sells $1 million homes, and not just like $1 or $2 million homes. He sells like $5 and $6 million homes. So we'll talk to Jay Pennypacker about his golf career here at the University of Arizona, as well as just kind of how he got started in big-time real estate here within the state, and what it was like to play with Jim Furyk, and what it was like to win a national championship for this university back in 1992. Also, you're going to hear from, we didn't get to some of the content we have yesterday, so we'll try to get that to you today as well. We had a chance to talk to Joe Somalo. He is the new defensive line coach for the University of Arizona football team. I had a chance to speak with a number of the University of Arizona assistant football coaches yesterday, and we'll have some of those interviews for you coming up here and sprinkling them throughout the next couple of weeks as we get you set for spring practice, which is right around the corner. I believe spring practice, in fact, will get going next Tuesday for the University of Arizona. The first practices for this new staff led by Brent Brennan. So we will have some of those interviews. Had a chance to chat with Bobby Wade, the wide receiver alum, who is now the wide receivers coach here. Dwayne Aquina, new offensive coordinator Dino Babers. Talked with him yesterday, a military, raised in a military family, talks in a military style. It's going to be fun to kind of cover Dino as things roll on for him over the course of the next, how many years he has a chance. And I asked him specifically one of the reasons why he decided to come back and not take a break. He was the head coach at Syracuse for the last 6 or 7 years and decided to get right back into coaching when he was let go from that position this past season at Syracuse. So you'll hear about a number of those interviews coming up over the course of the next few weeks, and we'll chat with Joe Somalo. You'll hear that interview coming up later today. Also, we did not get a chance to hear yesterday from Keyshawn Johnson and Caleb Love. J-Dub, I understand there was some news about Caleb Love today.
Yeah, third team All-American honors for Mr. Love. So adds that into his trophy case along with the Pac-12 MVP this year.
So third team All-American. Does that surprise you that he was third team? Now I'm assuming that was Associated Press, or was that that another?
Yeah, correct. Let me get the full list in front of me. But yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean, I think obviously there's so many deserving players. There's a lot of talent around the country, but there's nothing. You definitely look at a guy who's the leading scorer and big shot maker for one of the top 10 teams in the country, and that's a deserving player every year to be on the list. And I don't think there's anybody you could pick over Caleb to be on those teams, no doubt. Yeah, Zach Edey.
Zach Edey was a unanimous All-American for the second consecutive year. He was at the top of all 62 of the top 25 ballots. Tennessee's Dalton Neck and North Carolina's R.J. Davis were also on the ballot. Houston's Jamal Sheed and Tristan Newton from UConn round out the first team. Any surprises on that list, J-Dub, at all?
No, I mean, all of those are the names that you hear of. I mean, clearly, Sheed and number one, start with Zach Edey. I don't think anybody was going to be and people would be surprised if Zach Edey didn't get votes. I think he's been a pretty unanimous back-to-back player of the year this year, everything he's done. Dalton has come on this year, transfer obviously into Tennessee, really crazy scoring numbers the last 2 months down the stretch, putting up 35, 40 points in games. And then the other ones, you look at Sheed's defensive ability, R.J. Davis, obviously the lead guard for the Tar Heels. No, I mean, I don't see anybody on there. There's nobody on the second team, let's put it this way, that I think should take one of the places of those guys.
Wow. And, I guess I'll just say I'm surprised that I thought Caleb Love would be first or second team. Third team was maybe lower than I had anticipated that he would be on this all-American list. Marquette's Tyler Kolek was on the second team, along with Alabama's Mark Sears. We had a chance to see him earlier this year. Dayton's Deron Holmes was on the first team. Duke's Kyle Filipowski and Kansas's Hunter Dickinson were all also on the first team. So Marquette's Tyler Kolek, Alabama's Mark Sears were the guards that were ahead of Caleb Love on the second team. And then the third team consisted of San Diego State's Jaden Ledee, Auburn's Johnny Broome, and then Caleb Love along with Creighton's Baylor Sherman were the ones, and then also Illinois' Terrence Shannon Jr. was the final member of the third team. A lot of controversy, obviously, surrounding that young man this year with the rape allegation that came out in December. But boy, did he play well down the stretch with all of that on his shoulders.
I think he's second or third in the nation in scoring, so can't keep him off. I think what I really mean by I'm not surprised by Caleb, DK, is APL American voters to me is 70% east of the Mississippi. So unless you're doing something insane, I think they're always going to give the benefit of the doubt. I just think that's the way it's always been. And we saw Caleb Love struggle the last couple of weeks of the season. Who's to say that he wouldn't maybe have been a second team or even first team had he put up 45 points a game in the Pac-12 tournament type of thing. But I'm not. Again, it's really just a popularity contest, I think, at this point. I think all the players that you see on all three of these teams are certainly exceptional in their own right. It takes a real either name recognition or somebody putting up astronomical, first time ever seen type numbers. And so that just simply wasn't the case this year for Caleb. The shooting percentage probably hurt him a tiny bit. But yeah, I mean, All-American honors, regardless of what first, second, or third team, DK, is a huge accomplishment.
All right, I want to hear from all of you on that as well. 520-848-1290. Surprised Caleb Love. Disappointed to see Caleb Love on the third team versus the first or second team All-American.
Cricket, are you surprised?
I'm sorry?
I said, Cricket, are you surprised?
I'm not surprised because you were not surprised.
Well, there you go.
Cricket always falls in line with J-Dub, right?
My homie.
I think, she doesn't probably watch too many college hoops games, so I think she's just deferring to our expertise.
Exactly. You guys are the professionals.
Cricket, have you ever been out to have you ever walked on a golf course much in your life?
I probably.
Do you have men in your family that like to play the game of golf?
No, not really.
No?
No.
Any of the ladies in your family like to golf? Does your sister golf at all?
No.
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 Okay. Is there a sport of choice for the ladies in your family? I think didn't you say that you guys played a little tennis growing up?
Well, we had to in PE.
Only when you had to.
We had tennis courts at our school. I don't know if every high school has those, but it was all right. But I know the girls, my nieces are playing soccer.
Yes.
And soccer is definitely on my brother-in-law's side. So they're all in to soccer.
So now I remember your niece played in the Fort Lowell event earlier this year. Have they had any other events recently that she's partaken in and had success with yet?
She plays almost every weekend. And the last time they played, I think they had a Phoenix championship, and her team won.
Well, nice.
Well, they won like a series of 3 games through a weekend, or 4 games, but they did really well.
All right, we're going to get back. We'll get back to that conversation a little bit later. We're going to be joined straight ahead here by some of the members of the Arizona men's golf team as they have won this tournament today. So let's go ahead and get a break in here. We'll get cricket with your traffic. We'll come back. We'll talk some Arizona Wildcats golf with head coach Jim Anderson, Tiger Christensen, as well as some of the other folks who are around this fabulous event here at the Tucson Country Club. It's DK on the Sports Tip. Cricket, get us home.
And from the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Collision clearing Naranja in First Avenue and Naranja. Got some road work with the closure to the south side. Los Reales closed west of Nogales Highway. 47 the overnight low, 74 partly cloudy tomorrow, and 74 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate, not one based on anyone else. So if you drive safely, you could save money. Good to know. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today.
Did you miss the big game? We got you covered.
Got a man wide open to the 10 to the 5. Touchdown, Arizona. Nobody close to Tetaroa McMillan.
Stay on the Sports Tip, 3 to 6 weekdays.
Played it.
Here's an important message from University Termite and Pest Control. The weather is cooler here, and so pests are seeking alternative housing. Do you need a professional? University Termite and Pest Control has been serving Tucson since 1974. You can be assured University Termite and Pest Control will keep you pest-free using the most responsible products and application methods. 28 school districts, 3 hospitals, 2 colleges, 1 university, and thousands of homeowners trust University Termite and Pest Control for the past 50 years. You can too. University Termite and Pest Control. Find us online at bepestfree.com.
You hear it all the time. Lawyers talk about all their experience, many years of experience with insurance companies, and experience in the courtroom. But what they're not talking about is their results. Maybe they don't have any. At Lerner & Rowe, we're proud of our results because that's how we measure our success. We've helped over 150,000 people recover billions of dollars for their injuries, with over $1 billion just in the last 5 years alone. When you want results, call Lerner & Rowe.
They could be together. Yeah, we'll
Get the backyard you've always wanted with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you're ready to dive in, then visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. Schedule now and get 3 months of full service free. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilders.com.
First
Choice Pools, the first and only choice.
Your home for in-depth conversation.
Nothing they do is by surprise. They telegraph what they want to do, and then they brag about it afterwards. It's a way to keep us at each other's throats.
The most pressing issues.
This was just a white on black crime, and you can already see the narrative starting to form in real time.
And fresh perspective.
The air marshals will not be on the airplanes because they're down at the border escorting illegal aliens to their Ubers.
America's most loved truth tellers live on Tucson's home for conservative talk. This is Freedom 1400.
Summer of 93, 76 days over 100. Summer of 23, the hottest on record.
We can't change the weather, but we can change your comfort.
Alaskan AC introduces the Grizzly.
The only air conditioner built for Arizona summers.
It'll claw down hot temps.
The Grizzly.
This is getting intense.
It eats Arizona summers for breakfast.
Then it spits them out at lunch.
Wait a second.
The Grizzly claws the competition.
Tears them apart. Do another one.
Pounces on heat like it's a salmon spawning and rips it apart.
Like a salmon spawning?
Then it takes a pirate sword and stabs high temperatures.
Hold it.
Aw, it was just getting good.
Folks, we designed a new air conditioner made to handle the heat and dust of Arizona summers. We call it the Grizzly.
Yeah.
Take it easy. It's tough as a grizzly, but gentle on your budget.
That pirate sword?
Before summer gets blazing, learn more about the Grizzly at AlaskanAC.com.
Thank you for 40 unforgettable years. Dell Technologies is celebrating with anniversary savings on their most popular tech. For a limited time only, save on select next-gen PCs like the XPS 13 Plus, powered by Intel Core processors and more. Plus, curate your dream setup with great deals.
Got about 1 minute.
All right.
When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to leading-edge technology and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
Progressive presents 10 things on a contractor's to-do list that are harder than getting a commercial auto insurance quote. Bidding a new client, giving an accurate estimate, finding affordable materials, getting a client to pay you for work you already did, getting a client to pay you, period, securing permits and workers and tools, getting those workers and tools to work together, and finding the perfect pair of overalls. Pockets, baby. But the easiest thing on a small business owner's to-do list? Seeing if you can save on commercial auto insurance. Get a quote in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Coverage subject to policy terms and conditions.
Wildcats fans from coast to coast can bring a little bit of Tucson to themselves wherever they happen to be by streaming 1290 on our website at wildcatsradio1290.com. The home of the Wildcats is everywhere. This is Wildcats Radio 1290. DK on the sports tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, we are back out here at Tucson Country Club where the Arizona men's golf team has wrapped up the Arizona Thunderbirds Intercollegiate as the Wildcats as a team shoot 17 under and have an individual championship as champion as well with Tiger Christensen. We are joined by the head coach of the Arizona men's golf team, Jim Anderson. And Jim, first of all, congratulations. Break down this 2 days for me and what you liked about what your team did.
Thanks. Thank you, DK. Yeah, our team did a great job here. Playing at home is obviously a great privilege and something we're very happy to have the opportunity to do, and it brings a little extra pressure because you get to put a lot of thought into how you want the golf course set up. You got a lot of people to thank and who helped make a tournament like this possible, and so getting ready for the event, we wanted to try to present conditions that would simulate golf that we're going to have to be playing throughout the rest of this spring in the championships, and the course delivered on that. Tucson Country Club's a great test, and our team did a really, really good job of staying composed. We didn't necessarily get off to the greatest of starts yesterday, round one, at the beginning of that round, but we knew we'd have birdie chances coming, and over the course of 3 rounds, 54 holes, 800 plus shots, our team really, really balanced out really well, and we had some great performances. I couldn't be more happy for them.
So now I was looking, just looking at the board. I mean, the scores were high, except for you guys. Was there a reason for that? Is this a tough course to play?
It is, and one of the things with the renovation here at Tucson Country Club, they've not yet overseeded the grass. It will be next year. They need 1 year to get the turf settled as the natural grass, which makes it play very firm and very fast. And good players want that. Guys on our team are great players, and they do a good job. It's kind of funny. Golf's a fickle game. It's a little bit of an insane game because you want to test, but then they also complain. It's like, these greens are too difficult. They're too firm. Or, so it's a fine line, and, that's where we're just lucky that Ken McCutcheon and his team did a great job setting up the course, and we got a composed team. So our team did a great job of handling these tough conditions.
Talking with Jim Anderson, the head coach of the Arizona men's golf team. They win the Thunderbirds Intercollegiate out here at Tucson Country Club. They sweep the podium with Tiger Christensen winning at 10 under. Tony Jiang in second place at -8, and then Sam Sommerhauser in third place at 4 under. We talked last week about Tiger Christensen, and you guys made some adjustments to the equipment. I would say those adjustments worked out pretty well this week.
Yeah, and that's a real shout out to Tiger. I mean, he played great golf, and before the week he was talking about how he thinks the front nine's easier, and I'm really excited to see when he figures out how to play the front nine, because he made 7 birdies on the back nine today. So if he plays the easier nine the way he thinks he could have a really special round. But he played great, and he's just a very, very composed and committed to his craft with all things golf. The other person that gets a lot of credit for that is Matt Walton, our assistant coach, because those two worked together, got the right shaft combo in for him, and he really hit his driver great. And it produced this week. So that's a part of it, and Tiger and Matt together deserve the credit on that.
So he got 7 birdies on the back nine. I watched him at the 17 was the one where he got the bogey, but came back and got that birdie at 18 to finish things out. I mean, again, that's a really impressive board when you look at it, the way that he finished out this tournament. I understand through Ryan a course record for the remodel.
That's exactly right, 65, and best I know we've seen 67 out here, and Tiger, he's a competitor, and his name is synonymous with golf, and it's pretty well documented. It wasn't necessarily because of golf, but he found golf, and he reminds me a little bit about Tiger. He gets a look in his eye, and he gets determined. He knows his process. He sticks to it, and it was really fun to see him get into the zone on the back nine today.
Well, I want to ask you. I watched Tione play a couple, and I watched Tiger play the 17th hole, and I both saw them do something around the greens that I just kind of want to ask you about. It's almost like they're straddle walking the line. What exactly is that? What are they doing when they're kind of straddle walking the putt line to kind of are they judging distance? What was that about?
It would be more judging the break, and so there's different variances on exactly what system you might use to read greens, and there's a million different ways to go about whatever it is you think works for you. But oftentimes players, and this would be true for our guys, they'll straddle the line to get a feel for the subtlety of left to right or right to left, and a lot of times I see that happening even closer to the hole than it would happen if it were 20-30 feet from the hole putting. A lot of times your eyes can tell you the general break that you need there, but when you're 4 and 5 and 6 and maybe 3 feet from the hole, it's really, really helpful to be very precise there, and that's where your feet can tell you a lot too.
Oh wow, that's I've never really heard it explained that way before. Now, Tony played as an individual, so he didn't qualify.
Yeah, but Tony's a big part of our team, and he's been on some teams that have won, and honestly, I have a tough job. It's something I don't enjoy is picking the players who play.
Right.
And luckily, when we have a home tournament and we get a chance to see our entire team play, the consolation of not getting to be on the lineup isn't quite as firm as if we were traveling and only got to take 5 players, for example. So, that's where we preach to our guys, listen, everything is earned in golf. Every week it starts over. Let's, you create your own opportunities. It's not luck. It's not favoritism. It's an objective sport. Go prove it. Go show what you're capable of. And Tony did that, and he works incredibly hard. He's only a freshman. We couldn't be more excited about what he's bringing to our team this year. And the person who's responsible for big picture, myself, I'm excited to see Tony continue to grow as a player,
Yeah,
too.
so I guess what do you like about it? Obviously, I'm sure, he's a freshman. He's been playing. There's some disappointment probably on his end that he wasn't able to make the cut for this week. But then he still turns that over into having a chance to win today.
Yeah, and he works incredibly hard, and 1 through 9 do that on our team too. It's a prerequisite to entry, if you will. But he's very, very strong. Hits the ball very far off the tee. Has worked really hard to flight his wedges, and that's starting to yield some really good scoring for Tony. And the experience he's picked up this year, he qualified right out the gates for our first 2 tournaments and had 6 rounds of golf, 4 of which were real good. So he's starting to put 3 rounds together where before it might have been 2 or 1.5, and that's a testament to him learning and continuing to work hard and believe in what he's working on.
Remind us how you found him again.
Tony was a player that he had emailed us prior to the COVID recruiting deadline lifting, so I had his name just because of email, and I knew, oh wow, this is a good player from China, is interested in us. Maybe not a place we've recruited a ton of players out of yet, but I do want to keep a star on his name, and when we can watch him, we will. And sure enough, I got a chance to keep talking to him once the recruiting, or once the timeline opened up where we could watch him. We went to Junior World at Torrey Pines, and he finished top 20 and looked like a professional out there. So we were very happy to have and keep his commitment over the summer of, I guess it was 2022, and here he is. He's made a home. He's a key part of our team. Our guys love him, and he's just continuing to grow as a player and doing some great things in our team.
So now you say keep his commitment, because then apparently other schools started coming in and noticing him as well.
That's exactly right. And some of the story might not be, I don't know if you can edit out all the things I want to tell you, but you're exactly right. We actually did take a verbal commitment from Tony via Zoom because we couldn't watch him. And I was like, checking out his swing videos, seeing his scores, and it was kind of like flip a coin, yes or no, and it comes up, we're going yes. He's such a wonderful guy, and when you meet him and talk to him, he's very authentic, great heart, and I knew there was a good connection, so I had no concerns over those components. I just hadn't seen him play, and there he shows up at Torrey Pines, and he's says he's going to be a Wildcat, and I'm like, oh my gosh, we got this school, and this school who's watching him too, so it worked out great for both of us. I say that hoping that Tony believes that too. But we made for a good team so far, and I'm excited to see him grow.
Now I want to go back to the beginning part of that. So you said he called you. How did he even know about this program? Was he looking at schools, and what was his process from that side?
Yeah, I think a lot of times now versus maybe 15 or 20 or 30 years ago, the recruiting process was so much different because you had to put a VHS tape together and put it in the mail and hope the coach opened it and put it in his VCR or hers. Now it's so easy to correspond via email that, there's people that give advice to young golfers, good advice to say, hey, cast a wide web or net. Get your market yourself out there and see what coaches are interested in you. So we probably caught his net because we were a top program and he's a top player out of China, and luckily for us, I think this is one of our strengths in recruiting. We're quite thorough and we're very authentic and available, accessible, all those things. And so because we established really good lines of communication early, I think we made a very favorable impression, which yielded the outcome we both were looking for.
Now you've got 2 more tournaments left before Pac-12's coming up, but the next one's about 3 weeks away. So how do these next 3 weeks play for the guys? And is it what's the regimen to get ready for Thunderbird Collegiate up in Phoenix?
Yeah, great question. And we're set up to do some more qualifying. And it's difficult because here we just won a golf tournament. We have a great lineup, and you would think, oh, let's not press any different buttons. Let's just keep doing what we're doing. And we will to a certain extent, but the way we are always going to be our best is if we're competitive within the team, and really that starts at the bottom, and we're only as good as the players at the bottom pushing to get into a spot better. So we're going to keep the guys competing. We've got a qualifying system that's a little unique. I think will be fresh and well received by the team. We're going to do some match play next week, which also can be beneficial to getting some experience for some of the competition we might play later, speaking towards the NCAA championship. But because we do have 2 weeks, we'll spend the second week with the more traditional qualifying rounds where, a couple of guys on our team are going to have opportunity to travel to ASU and be a part of this team, even if they weren't on the lineup this week or maybe they were leading us this week, So we've got 9 great players and they all want to play. So, golf's an objective game and their scores oftentimes do the talking.
All right. Well, congratulations, Jim. Second team championship of the year. It's always great to win as well as play well when you come out here, and look forward to you guys finishing strongs heading into Pac-12s here in Arizona in April.
Thanks, DK. Yeah, it was great to have everyone out at TCC this week, and really happy that you're out here. Really cool to have you on site, and really appreciate all the coverage you do, and you do a great job with the show and all you do for us. So thank you, and bear down.
Absolutely. Jim Anderson, the head coach of the Arizona Wildcats. Let's get cricket home, getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together. With a collision at Naranja and First Avenue and Naranja. Roadwork southbound Country Club approaching Speedway, stay to the left. And for northbound Country Club approaching and passing Grant Road, another stay left advisory. You could use Tucson Boulevard instead. 47 the low, 74 partly cloudy tomorrow, and 74 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know there's a better way to do things, like bundling your home and auto insurance with Allstate. Why make things harder than they need to be? There's a better way to save time and money. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today.
Caruso's, a Tucson tradition since 1938, located on historic 4th Avenue. For 4 generations, Caruso's handmade sauce has been prepared with love by a family member, using only the best ingredients. Enjoy specialty Italian dishes like lasagna al forno, chicken tetrazzini, real Italian sausages, spectacular pizza, as well as many vegetarian options. Caruso's offers outdoor dining on their garden patio, with indoor dining also available. Open Tuesday through Sunday, with all your favorites available for takeout. For more information, call 520-624-5765 or visit their website at carusositalian.com.
DK on the Sports Tip, 3 to 6 weekdays.
Brian Peabody.
My biggest thing is get back. If you don't get back in transition D, you'll never play.
I got one of your former players at Greenfields here.
Player is very generous. I was not a player. I was just a guy who sat around on the bench. I was on your second team back in '92, way back when.
We didn't have a second team. We only had 6 players. What are you talking about?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, and I wasn't even good enough to be on that rotation. So there you go.
Wildcats Radio 1290.
El Rio Vecinos are gearing up to take you on another global adventure for their 2024 block party. London is calling on April 6th at Plaza Palomino, where guests will enjoy dozens of food and beverage partners, dancing, entertainment, and more. Your support will help fund the El Rio Cancer Prevention and Treatment Fund. Mark your calendar for the El Rio Vecinos block party, April 6th from 7 to 11 p.m. Tickets available at elriovecinos.com.
Summer of 93, 76 days over 100. Summer of 23, the hottest on record.
We can't change the weather, but we can change your comfort.
Alaskan AC introduces the Grizzly.
The only air conditioner built for Arizona summers. It'll claw down hot temps.
The Grizzly.
This is getting intense.
It eats Arizona summers for breakfast.
Then it spits them out at lunch.
Wait a second.
The Grizzly claws the competition.
Tears them apart. Do another one.
Pounces on heat like it's a salmon spawning and rips it apart.
Like a salmon spawning?
Then takes a pirate sword and stabs high temperatures.
Hold it.
Aw, it was just getting good.
Folks,
All right,
we designed a
so
new air
Tiger,
conditioner made to
you're
handle the
gonna be
heat
on
and dust of
5
Arizona
and-
summers. We call it the Grizzly.
Yeah.
On the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
And we're back out here at Tucson Country Club. It is the Arizona Thunderbirds Intercollegiate Golf Tournament. The Wildcats won this thing today with an impressive score of -17 as a team. They swept the podium. Tiger Christensen, who is seated here with me right now. If you're watching on one of our many video streams, in fact, click on over to one of our video streams. We are on Facebook Live, Twitch, Twitter, as well as YouTube. You can watch the program Wildcats Radio 1290 on all of those except for Twitter. It's at Wildcats 1290. And Sam Summerhauser also joining us as they swept the podium with Tony Jeong in the middle at -8. And first of all, I'll start with you, Sam. Just your thoughts on this tournament and how you played here for these 2 days.
Yeah, I know we had a lot of confidence coming in. We've been playing really well, and being our home course, we just had to stay out of our own way and just play smart. And we knew the course was playing hard, so we had that extra confidence that we knew the course better than any other team, and it showed this week for sure.
Yeah, that was clear because I remember when I looked at the scores yesterday, I'm thinking to myself, holy cow, we've got all these double-digit plus numbers except for Arizona. What makes this course so tough?
I thought it was super firm around the greens this week. They added 500 yards of length too from last year. So yeah, it's just super firm around the greens. The pin positions were pretty tough, so it's hard to get the ball close to the hole and make birdies.
Tiger Christensen is the individual champion at -10. Tiger, congratulations. I guess I saw the one hole that didn't go well, which was 17, when you got the bogey there because you got 7 birdies on the back 9. And Coach Anderson was saying that you told him you thought the front 9 is the easy side of this course right now.
Well, I still think there's definitely more that can happen on the back 9. It's a very interesting segment of holes, especially 13, 14, 15. A lot can happen with drivable par 4s and really tricky second shots on the par 5 on 13. So you got to be kind of plodding yourself around, even though at first the holes might seem short and easy. But it's very easy to get away with one there and get some bogeys even. So to play those well was definitely a key. And I just kind of bombed through those back 9.
So how many collegiate wins is this for you now?
This is my 4th.
4th win. What's it like when you win?
Great. I've been I've been working really hard the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Kind of had 2 poor tournaments and just had to kind of put my head down and work on some things that I've noticed. And to see it kind of pay off, still a lot more air up, but to pay off a little bit in this tournament was definitely good to see.
Now let's talk. You mentioned you had 2 poor tournaments. We were talking to Coach Anderson last week. He said you guys made some equipment adjustments. How did you kind of analyze what was happening and what you wanted to try to do differently, and the reasoning to make? I think you changed something with your shafts as well.
Yeah, the equipment adjustment was actually pretty easy because my driver was just broken. It was there was no way it was anything but normal, because any other shaft would go straight and then the other one would go like 40 yards right. So I knew that something was off, and then I got a new shaft in and it worked perfectly. So that definitely freed things up, and then I could just, when I know my equipment's perfect, then you can look at things, what you're doing wrong, what you can improve on. And to get that out of the way and have my shaft work was definitely important. And
You guys win this tournament, obviously, by 13 shots over New Mexico. Last time we chatted was over at the NIT. They had gotten you that day. Did you guys feel just like, with more tournaments under your belt from that initial start of the season, that you guys just would be more comfortable, Sam, this week here?
Yeah, I think it helps a lot being our home course, too. I think you get a lot of home course advantage here, just knowing the different slopes and where to land the ball. And obviously we lost to them by 1 at our other home tournament, so just to get back at them this tournament felt pretty good. Yeah.
You guys have had some. We were laughing about this on the air yesterday. We were talking. I had said that Tucson Country Club, a beautiful place to come out and play golf, and then my partner J Dub kind of reminded me. Well, wait a minute. They just played in Hawaii in Cabo San Lucas. So what's it like just traveling around playing these beautiful resort style paradise courses that you guys get to play in college?
It's pretty awesome, especially to do it with some of your best friends on the team. It's just super fun just to hang out and see like some great courses. We play a great schedule. Thanks to our coach, he gets us in a lot of good tournaments, and with that we get to go to a lot of good places. So it's pretty fun.
Mm-hmm. Tony didn't even make the starting lineup, and he almost won this thing. How about that kid?
Yeah, that just shows how deep our team is. Tony's a freshman, and you can tell with some of the scores he's shot in throughout the year, he's going to be good.
Tiger, what are these qualifying rounds like when you guys are trying to make the 5 that get to play in these events?
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty close to a tournament, really. I think everyone kind of feels different about them, I guess, but we make it as close to a tournament as possible. We put tricky pins, and really everyone's just kind of in their own zone, and it's very competitive, so that definitely makes us better, and I think it only helps.
Tiger Christensen, Sam Summerhauser joining us. They finished 1-3 at this event. I don't think I'd seen these cool Wilbur hats before. Are those new this year?
Did we get them?
We got them last year.
Last year?
Last season at Trinity Forest at the Jackson T. Stevens Cup.
Okay. Whose idea was that? Was that a team idea, or was who?
I think we all just kind of came up with it. That'd be cool.
Wilbur with a golf club. I like that swinging. Those are really, because I saw you guys, because I always look for the when I'm out there and I'm trying to find you guys, I always look for the A on the hat, and I'm like, that doesn't look like an A on the hat. I'm like, what are they wearing on the hat? And I finally got a chance to see that it was Wilbur. So you guys got 3 weeks off now. What's the mentality? I talked to Coach about this. What's the mentality now for you guys as players as you ramp up now for the event in Phoenix in mid-April?
For me, I mean, I think most of us are just going to, get back into routine, practice as much as we can, and for me, it's just head down and work on everything so I can improve even more and hopefully shoot even better scores than this week.
All right, so Sam, take me through, okay, you played today, You played 2 rounds yesterday. You played a round today. So what's the rest of this week like? Do you take a day off or two? Will you be right back out here practicing tomorrow? Take me through Sunday, the rest of this week, what you'll do as a golfer.
Yeah, especially after the 36-18 ones, I probably will take a day off just to rest the body for tomorrow. I'm pretty tired right now because yesterday was a grind and then have to do it again today. So I'll probably just take one day off and then get back at it on Thursday.
Thursday?
Yeah.
You want to go watch the guys going to watch the basketball game at all?
Of course, yeah. Yeah.
What are you excited about this new clubhouse? It's starting to come together over there. I think, next month you guys will be in it?
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. It's looking pretty awesome. I know they've always wanted to do it, and to be here at Tucson Country Club is pretty awesome. We have a great course here. We got a great chipping green built, and then the facility should be done in around a month, so it should be pretty awesome.
I saw the legendary Rick LaRose around here today. You guys have a chance to meet that coaching legend and get to talk to him, talk golf with him?
Yes, he's out here a lot, so we see him a bunch. I think he practices pretty much every day. So, yeah.
Has he ever given you any profound advice at all? Or?
No.
No?
No, he's just kind of minding his own business, says hi, and just works on his stuff. He's a grinder.
So now 6-7 tournaments into this season, where do you think this team is? How good can this team be? Is this an NCAA championship level team you guys got?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so too. I think obviously if everyone's on their A game, we're really, really good. But even when we don't have our best stuff and maybe only two guys show up, we're still capable of winning tournaments. And yeah, I'm excited for what's coming in the postseason, and I think we'll just get better from here. And we definitely have a team that's capable of showing up at nationals.
And for you, Sam, obviously maybe today's round was not maybe what you wanted. What maybe didn't work well for you out there today to get more birds on the card?
Yeah, I didn't putt great today. I felt like I was hitting the ball decent. I just didn't really convert when I needed to. But I played good yesterday, and overall it was a good tournament. Not as good today, but I'll learn from it.
Yeah, so when you wake up, because I would imagine you woke up today believing you had a chance maybe to win this thing, and it doesn't happen. So now how do you reset yourself from what happened today to, maybe try to be better on that closing day next time?
Yeah, I was talking to Coach LaRose after the round, and he said
so he did give you some. We were about to get this piece of advice.
A little bit. He said just take in the whole tournament and analyze everything, and then just take what you need to do better, how you were feeling out there in the final round, and just take everything as a learning experience. So.
And obviously, guys, it's an individual game, but you're playing in this team concept. Yannick struggled a bit this week. How do you guys talk to him about maybe what he did? You guys maybe all get together as a group, look at each other's tapes or whatever, look at each other and kind of get a feel for, okay, well, I'll give you this piece of advice. Let's give him this advice on maybe how he can handle some of these holes a little bit better next time you play here.
It's difficult in golf because you can have an off week and feel like you didn't really do that much wrong. So
right.
It's hard to really have 1 week and then be like, yeah, you got to do this better or whatever. It might just be a couple things that just didn't go his way, and you really just have to kind of, just put a check mark next to this tournament and look forward to the next one and see if you can take some things that you didn't do good here. But usually, you just got to keep on playing. It's you have a good week and you have a bad week. It's just so random and so difficult that you can't really say you got to do this exactly better and it'll get better. It's just no guarantees, and you just kind of cope with that and work your way through whatever works kind of.
Did you guys watch the Players this past weekend?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
What were your thoughts on Chef getting another one?
So good.
Yeah, he's playing unreal right now.
What's he doing out there? What do you see when you watch him play?
He's just hitting it better than everyone. And then he found out he switched putters a couple weeks ago, and then found something little clicked, and he won 2 weeks in a row. So it's sometimes something as small as that can give you a little bit of confidence. But yeah, it's unreal to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you guys were unreal to watch these last 2 days, guys. Congratulations, Tiger, another championship, your fourth. Sam, good to see you on the podium there as well, and we look forward to you guys ramping up here for Pac-12's a little bit later in the spring here.
Perfect. Thank you. Thanks for having us on.
We got Sam Summerhauser there, Tiger Christensen, Tiger the champion at -10. Best round. Oh, before I let you go, I got to ask you about that. I didn't ask you about that. But they said best round ever here with the remodel here. How about that?
Yeah, course record.
Course record, yeah.
Yeah.
Did they give you anything extra for that? You get a free meal or?
I don't know.
A nice sleeve of golf balls or something like that.
Yeah, they haven't said anything. I don't know.
Well, we'll have to see what Ryan can get you over there for having the course record. Guys, again, thank you. Appreciate you stopping by. All right, let's we'll get much more coming up for you. We'll get a break in here. We'll talk some more golf. Jay Pennypacker from the 1992 national champion Arizona men's golf team is going to join us. We'll talk to Ryan Davis as well, the general manager out here at Tucson Country Club, about the remodel of this course and the putting up of the new clubhouse as well. Wildcats win it as they shoot 17 under to win the Arizona Thunderbirds Intercollegiate. It's DK on the Sports Tip. I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. A collision Tangerine near Oracle on Tangerine to the west of Oracle. Have some slowdowns on northbound Country Club at Grant due to road work. Backups eastbound Grant Road at Columbus. More road work there. And I'm Cricket. And your weather overnight tonight, 47 is the low, 74 partly cloudy tomorrow, and a 73 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate, not one based on anyone else. So if you drive safely, you could save money. Good to know. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Spring is on its way to southern Arizona, and while we're hoping for a few more weeks of mild weather, we know extreme heat comes next. So right now is the time to get your car or truck road trip ready. And with 14 convenient locations, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care is the place. Not sure about your car's air conditioner? Need to check out that light on your dashboard? Or make sure your battery can make it through another summer? Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care is here to help. With decades of experience here in Arizona and dozens of top shop awards for tires and automotive maintenance. And right now, save big on the brands you love, like Michelin, and get big rebates like $100 back on Cooper tires. Plus, buy 3, get 1 free on Cooper's new Pro Control Series tires. You can stack on even more savings when you pay with your Jack Furrier card. Check out jackfurriers.com for all the promotions and details, and even more money-saving coupons on top of our already low prices. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, since 1960, here to get you there.
We get you so close to the action at McHale, it feels like Wilbur and Wilma are in the car with you. This is the home of Arizona men's basketball. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
This just in, Goodfellas AC is matching up to $2,000 on federal tax credit.
Whoa, seriously? This is unbelievable. I gotta call Floyd at Goodfellas.
Hello, Goodfellas. Floyd speaking.
Is it true about the $2,000?
It sure is. Homeowners like you may qualify for a 30% federal tax credit up to $2,000 on qualifying heat pumps. And Goodfellas will match the tax credit dollar for dollar up to $2,000. Good service.
Live from the CNWT.
From the what? Central Northwest Tucson, duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket, getting you home when traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
And we are coming to you live from the Tucson Country Club here, the Arizona Thunderbirds Intercollegiate NCAA Men's Golf. Arizona wins the championship of this 2-day, 3-round event at 17 under par, 13 shots better than the University of New Mexico. They turned the tables on the Lobos, who got the win just a month and a half ago up at the Omni Tucson National in the NIT. But today it is the Wildcats who emerge victorious, led by Tiger Christensen, who shot 10 under par for the tournament and a new record for the course record since they remodeled the course here. -7 today with a 65, and we are joined by the general manager of Tucson Country Club, Ryan Davis, and I see Rick LaRose is kind of lurking around in the background. We'll get the legendary U of A head coach on here as well. Straight ahead, Ryan, appreciate you taking some time to join us. Congratulations on a fun week out here. You guys made this course pretty difficult. I was looking at the scores yesterday, and I was like, man, nobody's under par except for Arizona and New Mexico. What's kind of tough about this course right now for some of these kids?
Yeah, thanks for having me, DK. We renovated the golf course this summer, added about 500 yards to the back tees, which really created some additional challenge for the kids, reshaped and renovated some greens cavities as well, with some short mow and roll-offs and kind of repositioning that was designed for a couple of things to actually make the course a little more playable and more approachable for some of our higher handicap and older members, but also more challenging for the student athletes with the new partnership we have with the University of Arizona. It's proven to be that based on the scores from last year's event to this year. Certainly was more challenging with only 2 teams under par, and it's only going to get better as this renovation continues to take shape over the next year and this turf really starts to grow in.
Yeah, so tell us about what was the plan for this renovation outside of maybe lengthening it as well as what you guys wanted to do to try to improve the playing out here.
Yeah, a lot of it was focused on greens cavities. We had greens cavities that were starting to get a little bit stressed. We've got bent grass greens. We had some encroachment of some other turf grass, and we really needed to renovate those as well as redo the irrigation in those surrounds to number one, be a little more economic in terms of efficiency in watering the greens, but provide better coverage to what we were doing. And then when we kind of agreed to this partnership with the golf teams, it was also an opportunity with the land we have and the ability to expand, to extend those tees and make it a true championship style golf course for the better players and the student athletes as they play, but also really just take advantage of really restoring it to what William Bell's vision was in 1947 when the course was designed. Playing angles, rewarding good shots, rewarding taking on certain challenging shots. And Mike Gogol, who was our architect with this restoration, has worked on a number of courses throughout the country, paired with our golf course superintendent, Kent McCutcheon, who this was his 26th renovation or new build construction.
Wow.
I couldn't have asked for a better partner. My job was to just stay out of his way, with his team and his assistant, Robert Martinez. It's really, truly, it is a restoration. It's restored to the vision of William Bell that was kind of initial to what Tucson Country Club was 77 years ago when it was built.
So when the U of A approaches you guys, we all know what they were looking for something that was more centralized, close to the campus. Obviously, the distance works better than some of the courses that they've been partnering with in the past. When they approach you guys, what's the thought from your side about what you want out of a partnership partnership as being a golf club here.
Yeah, and a lot went into it. I mean, really the discussions predate my time as the general manager moving into this role 3 years ago. My predecessor, who's an Arizona Golf alum, Wade Dunnigan, an Arizona Golf Hall of Famer, was instrumental with the aforementioned Rick LaRose, who's sitting behind us, and a number of our committee members and the board members at the time, and really getting the ball rolling in discussions with the leadership at the University of Arizona and the foundation. The initial discussions they started to gain traction based on, I think, what the other opportunities were out there, the expenses associated with maybe some of the other opportunities. And from a club perspective, it really just gave us an opportunity to further ingrain ourselves in the community. The community dynamic has been something that's always been important to Tucson Country Club, but we've really pushed and stressed over the last couple of years. In addition to this partnership, we've instituted a youth caddy program, which resulted in our program resulting in an Evans Scholar with a full ride scholarship for a young man through our program after just 3 years. Some partnerships with San Miguel High School and their corporate work study program. But really it was just, you don't talk about Tucson without the University of Arizona. That is what the community is. If you'd like to have dinner at the club, there's plenty of tables open if there's a home U of A basketball game, because all of our members are there. It really is what this community is. And that opportunity for partnership and the opportunity to do something special with something that's so important to this community was really what drove it for us.
Ryan Davis joining us. He is the general manager out here at Tucson Country Club. It was the Arizona Thunderbirds Intercollegiate here the last 2 days, won by the University of Arizona. Always nice to see the home team get a victory. You have an interesting history of working your way up here in the golf business. Walk folks through that. You went to Oregon State and kind of started, like you mentioned, caddying and doing some other things around golf courses. And what was, I guess, what was the bug that bit you that you wanted to make a career out of golf?
Yeah, sure. I grew up in athletics. My dad worked in college athletics for 30 years at Washington State and Oregon State, and with the Seattle Seahawks for a year in between it. So I always was around athletics. Actually had an opportunity to be an undergraduate assistant coach at Oregon State on the football team, but turned it down because I was just turned 20 years old and was the assistant food and beverage director, making what I believe to be significant money at the time that in hindsight I realized they were saving a lot of money. But really just, grew up in it. My first job was in outside services, cleaning carts and clubs, and just continued to have opportunities to elevate, moved in the food and beverage side and grew up in that side of the business, but also played golf and understand the game, which is a unique balance for me from a skill set standpoint. A lot of people have their strengths in one area or the other on the golf side, on the food and beverage side, but I've certainly tried to diversify my knowledge of our business to make sure that I'm able to assist our leaders and professionals on both sides.
So when you run a country club, obviously this is a gated country club style community, what are some of the important things that you have to do to keep the people that live in this community happy?
Oh, wow. If you figure that out, let me know.
Right, exactly.
We've got a great membership. It really, truly is, and I've been blessed to have great memberships throughout my career, really, at every place I've been. They're really supportive. They care about our people. You've got to have support from your board of directors, which we've got. You've got to have trust and respect between, yourself, your staff, and the membership. And I believe we have that here. It's really it's a family serving a family type environment. Our membership cares a tremendous amount about our team, our frontline employees, whether they're making a career of being a club employee or they're a student looking to do something different with their lives. It's really a relational business, and just being willing to listen and communicate goes a long way with ensuring that we're providing the ultimate member experience.
You mentioned a scholarship piece earlier. How can youngsters get involved with that if they want to have that maybe opportunity, and is that an every year thing?
It is. So our youth caddy program is in our third, maybe fourth season now. It was initially kind of founded and brought up through the First Tee of Tucson and bringing some kids in from there, San Miguel High School, other areas. The scholarship piece really ties, the Evans Scholarship is for those in financial need, but our youth caddy program is open to everyone. we're really trying to grow that program. There's opportunities for us, and I would strongly recommend anyone. Number one, it's a great opportunity to earn a few dollars, but you're going to get out and be with some of the industry leaders of Tucson, some of our business leaders, and some very successful professionals. So that opportunity to spend 4 hours on a golf course for young people to really engage and learn and identify maybe what they're looking to do in their future, it's invaluable. Our director of golf and his team have done a great job elevating that program. Any of the young people out there listening are parents of young people, and they can be as young as 10, 11, 12 years old. The earlier they start, the more opportunities you're going to have to get the necessary loops in to get that scholarship. And it's a full ride, room and board, full paid scholarship through the Evans Scholar program that James Labucas is the young man who is a senior at the Gregory School, was awarded this year. So, please reach out to us, anyone out there listening. We're always looking to grow that program and help, the young people in our community.
So, and if someone moves into Tucson and they want to be a member of the club here, they don't have to live in the community to be a member of the club, do they?
Correct. So we're not an HOA direct. So we do have some residents that are not members, and we have members that are not residents. But as a private member-owned equity club, memberships by invitation. So it's introductions to other members and our current members inviting others to join that are new to Tucson and developing those relationships.
Is this a venue that could eventually host Pac-12 championships and the like?
Well, it was due to host the Pac-12 championship.
I should say Big 12 championships and the like. I keep forgetting that we're moving.
I call my folks at Oregon State when we get the Pac-2 championship down here. We actually were, prior to the transition, about a week before the announcement, we had a conversation. We were next up to host the women's Pac-12 championship, I think, in 2025. So as part of the agreement, we were in the rotation. The way things work right now with the Big 12, they have a set host site. They don't rotate through, so we wouldn't be. But the course hosts championship events. We held a U.S. Open qualifier last year. Sam, who was on just before me, I caddied for one of our assistant professionals that day, and Sam was in our group and was one of the qualifiers who came out of our event. And the USGA will host some of those events, and if the Big 12 changes that format and or things continue to evolve as they will in the college athletics landscape, we'd love to host a championship event, and this course is more than capable of doing so.
As somebody that works in the golf business, what are your thoughts on what's happening with professional golf now? We've got some division with the emergence of the Live Golf Tour, and where you would like to see all of that end up. Can we bring everybody back together? You think that's going to happen in the future?
I have a hard time imagining it comes back together. I mean, I think some people have been very they've been polar opposites on the sides of what exists. For me, and a fan of the game of golf and a fan of professional golf, I'm a traditionalist with it, certainly. I'm a traditionalist in college athletics, and that hasn't mattered either. But I think that we just need to have a resolution. There's so much uncertainty in the talk of some collaborations, and there's just not an end piece to it. There's still so much evolution that's coming. I'd like to see us, Live's not going away. We know that, whether we want it to or don't want it to. The PGA Tour is doing everything they can to continue to compete with raising purses and trying to do what they think is best. Ultimately, the players, obviously, their focus is making a living in their families, but we want to see the best players playing in the Masters and in these major championships. But I'm hopeful that we get to just a resolution where it is what it is with Live Golf. We are where we are with the PGA Tour, and we just can move forward and understand that that's what the new reality is going to be.
Hey, we appreciate, Ryan, that you take some time to join us here today. Continued success with this great facility here. We're looking forward to more events like we've had out here the last 2 days.
Thanks, DK. Appreciate you having me. Bear down and go Cats.
There you go. Ryan Davis joining us here, and we've got another special guest coming up when we come back. In fact, we've got two special guests coming up. Rick LaRose is going to join us, And I'm not going to tell him who else is going to join us just yet. I'll wait and let him find that out. It's DK on the Sports Tip coming to you live from the Tucson Country Club. Cricket gets you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly
Thanks,
Chevrolet
Ryan.
Traffic
Appreciate it,
Center,
man.
it's your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
Slide
Got
on
some
in,
slowdowns
Rick.
On the eastbound side of I-10 approaching and passing speed.
90.
And we are coming to you live here from the Tucson Country Club here. It's the Arizona Thunderbirds Intercollegiate. The Wildcats take the tournament 17 under. They get the win over New Mexico. And actually, this is going to be a fun segment here because I've got the pleasure of having with me here at the golf course the legendary head coach for the University of Arizona. And I've got one of his players as well on the 1992 team. Jay Pennypacker joins us on the line. I've got Jay Pennypacker and I've got Rick LaRose. Gentlemen, 1992. Jay, I didn't tell you this because I wasn't sure exactly when Rick was going to be joining us, but I got your old coach here right with us right now. Jay,
I can't even believe it. I wasn't expecting to hear, hey, Coach.
Hey, Jay, how you doing, my boy?
I'm good. Unfortunately, I wasn't quite. I missed out by one man for making that top 5, but that was a great year. We had a bunch of wins that year, and I was fortunate to be a part of a few of them.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny you mentioned that because we were talking about that a little bit earlier because one of the golfers didn't make the top 5. But he finished second in the tournament. Was it the same way back then,
great.
where you could play where maybe you didn't make the top 5, Rick, but you still had your guys play as individuals, and you might occasionally have somebody that competed and had a chance to win?
Well, you need to have reserves and some extra players, and Jay certainly was a starter for us probably half the year. And played in some very big events for us. And the Pac-Man was pretty good, I'll tell you that. And he was definitely a part of a lot of great tournament wins for us.
What do you remember about those times, Jay, and playing for Coach?
Well, the one thing I remember is we didn't practice. We had to turn in a score every single day. And I think that's a lot different than now, but I think that was why we were so good, because you constantly had to turn in a score. And basically every day was a qualifier, so it kept everybody sharp. The other thing I remember is, the players that I had to try to beat to get into the lineup between, how about our number 4 player being Jim Furyk? I think he's the number 4 all-time leading money winner in the history of the PGA Tour. And then we have other tour winners. We have David Bergano, Manny Zerman, Harry Rudolph, who's playing the Champions Tour now, and a good friend of mine, Rob MacGyver, who's a developer up here in Phoenix area. Just a great lineup of players, and every day was competition. And, what I love was just all the golf courses we got to play in Tucson, and Tucson Country Club being one of our favorites. Can't wait to see the redesign.
What, Coach? What was that like trying to pick between all those names that he just? Was it easy because you just like you said they handed you the scores and that's how you made the lineup?
It was a great problem to have all that talent, and to substitute in and out didn't affect us very much. We had some outstanding players. The hardest part was if you had 5 and you could only take 5 guys, is to tell one guy he wasn't going to get to go. And that was the hardest thing to do because they all deserved to play. They were so good. And they all contributed in different ways. And it was a definite team. And Jay was right. We played a lot. We didn't spend a lot of time hitting balls, and we didn't have TrackMan, and our players weren't worried about their launch angles, their spin rates, or their club head speed. They were worried about what they shot. And I think some of the greatest players of all time never saw a TrackMan, from Jack Nicklaus to Lee Trevino to Ben Hogan to Byron Nelson, Arnold Palmer. Never were on TrackMan. Had no idea what that stuff was. They saw the ball and used that as their own personal computer. But they played, and they played for something every day, and it made them better.
Yeah, Jay, what was it like competing during those times, 92, 93, 94, when you guys had, tremendous teams every single year?
Well, it was fun for a guy like me. I was a walk-on, so trying to just crack the lineup, I had to be playing my best. And what was great about that is if I did make the lineup, I usually had a pretty good tournament. So that was really exciting. But what's fun now, looking back, is I'm seeing some of these guys going to the Champions Tour that I played against, and what I'm amazed at is how they've kept themselves in shape, because I just went and hit the balls earlier. My whole body hurts right now.
We're talking with Jay Pennypacker, U of A golf class of 1994, and his coach, Rick LaRose, who coached at the University of Arizona from 1978, 1979, all the way through 11 and 12. Jay, who gave you the nickname? He just called you Pac-Man. Who gave you that nickname? Was that a nickname that preceded you at the U of A, or did you get that here at the U of A?
So if you have the last name Pennypacker, you have a multitude of nicknames. That one came directly from Coach LaRose.
Well, so where'd you come up with that one, Coach LaRose?
Well, it's just
Pac-Man, right?
Pac-Man was a pretty popular game.
Popular game. There you go.
And there was Jay Pennypacker. There were some other names too, but we're not going to go into that.
Oh boy, oh boy, Jay, you obviously are still working around the game and a pretty successful real estate broker up in the Scottsdale area. What kind of made you take that path?
Well, golf really got me here, to be honest. I was a golf pro for a little while, played some mini tour stuff. Ended up working in the golf business as a PGA pro, and then kind of navigated into land development. But golf really opened the door for me to get into being a real estate agent and selling luxury real estate. It was about 10 years ago I started doing this full time. And what's really interesting is if you go out and play golf with somebody, it's a game of ethics, so they immediately trust you. So it was one of those things where if you're a good golfer, people see that, they trust you, and they trust you to handle some of their business because they know it's a game of ethics. So I was able to be around private clubs, play golf with people, get to know them, and then start selling their houses. And it's kind of a great life. I mean, I spend my time playing golf with clients and selling them houses and selling their friends' houses.
What does that mean to you, Rick, to kind of see your players become successful in once they leave U of A?
Well, that's what we're here for. We're trying to develop young people and give them the skills to advance themselves in life and to be productive members of their community and raise families. Jay sold himself short a little bit there. He was a terrific PGA professional, established himself and put a few golf courses on the map in Arizona and the Scottsdale area. But I think we've had well over 100 of our former players turn into club professionals, PGA tour players, or just great businessmen in the golf business. So golf's been really good to them and to everybody that's been through our program.
Jay, what would be your advice to some of these young men that are playing now? Would it be just what Coach LaRose said here? Don't pay so much to the launch angles and the TrackMan and all of that thing, and just kind of maybe have a better feel for just what you're seeing and what you're feeling out there on the golf course?
I'm very old school, so in a short answer, yes. But I also have my son is a senior in high school, and he's going to go play Division III golf in a small school in Illinois. And I see what these kids that grew up on TrackMan and grew up with fitted clubs, and what they're able to do to maximize how far they hit it, to maximize and dial in their wedge distances, and how low they're shooting compared to the scores that we shot. I think you have to mesh in some of the technology now. And the other thing they're doing is, with Tiger Woods, there's athletes out there, and it's fitness, but there's also guys and girls that could have played other sports, football, basketball, baseball, whatever, that are playing golf and just taking everything to the next level. So as much as I'd love to say, let's go out and play by feel and have fun, there's so many resources now that these kids are using, and they're already shooting lower scores than we ever shot.
I'm going to ask you both this question because obviously, I'm looking at just the records now. I mean, you guys were a perennial NCAA tournament team at the championships for, it looks like, probably right around 20 plus years. Why is it more difficult now, you think, for Arizona to get into that play? We haven't had as many NCAA appearances. Why was it, I guess, maybe during that time, what made this program so great that you guys were there every year at the NCAA championships?
We had great players, and they competed, and they expected to do well. And our players now are learning that. We have a very good team this year, probably the best team that we've had here in the last few years. And I think Jim's doing a great job on getting these guys. He's got some talent, and they're learning how to play and put it to use. They're shooting great scores, and it's evolving. All things evolve. I mean, going to use technology and kids that are bigger and stronger and faster, that's all part of evolution. Nothing stays the same, and you have to kind of evolve with it in order to keep progressing. And you try to be eclectic and take the best of everything and kind of put it all together. And I think that's what's happening now. I think you'll see our kids getting to the NC2As every year and competing for championships.
Jay, what made you walk on at the U of A? Were there other opportunities for you, or what was it about this Was it that legacy of being such a top program that made you want to come here and try to compete on this level?
I think I was too dumb to think that I couldn't make the team. To be honest, I had a couple friends. I had a friend that made the team, a high school friend that made the team. And then I show up in Tucson, and I'm on the quote-unquote JV team for, a few weeks, a few months. And Coach came over, and I shot a really good score one day. He says, why don't you go to the Tucson National tomorrow? I said, okay, I'll be there. So I think I was just I didn't realize how good everybody was. I just showed up and somehow got good enough to catch Coach's eye and get on the team, and then eventually make it in the lineup here and there. So, yeah, I think it was just stupidity.
Rick, we're watching some kids out here on the green by the clubhouse. You think they realize, the specialness that they have, this opportunity that they have right now to be at a facility like this and beginning? It looks like most of them are probably just beginning to learn this game.
Well, it's great to see them learning the game, but they have no clue where they are or what they're doing. They're having fun hitting balls, and they'd have fun if they hit balls at each other for a while. But it's great to see them out here, and they get a golf club in their hand, and that's the start, and that's how you do it. And finding people like Jay Pennypacker, we've had a bunch of players over the years that were in the exact same boat he was. We kept a lot of players on the team at the time, hoping that some would develop, and guys like Jay and Brian Prouty, a local kid from Tucson. I was good friends with his dad, and I put Brian on the team. He played at Sal Point. He wasn't a world beater, and by the time he graduated, he was the #1 player in the country and played professional golf on tour. So you never know. People get better. If you're good at 16, you may be good, but you don't know how you're going to be at age 21 or 22. People evolve, and you give them a chance. You give people a chance, and some people take advantage of it and really make the most of it.
Jay, what was the best piece of advice that Coach ever gave you?
Well, I would say shoot lower scores, and then you'll get to play in the lineup. It was that simple. I remember beating my brains in winning qualifiers, and he saw me winning qualifiers, but I think I was 19. I almost won the Arizona Open as an amateur, and he goes, all right, I've seen you win qualifiers, but now you just beat all the guys going to tour school. He goes, all you had to do is shoot lower scores, so you're going to Dallas next week. Or I think we went to Hilton Head, actually. So it was that simple. Coach was a very straightforward coach. It was, you have to show me, and what shows me is the scorecard.
Do you remember that story there? You remember that instance there?
Well, I do. I wasn't a big qualifier, first of all. I mean, most coaches know who the best 5 players on the team are. And because you're making the most free throws at practice on Friday night doesn't mean you're going to start the game on Saturday. Qualifying and practice for guys that aren't playing regular, that's the Masters. They're going to grind it out and play hard. And the guys that are playing all the time are, I got to work on this part of my game. I got some homework to make up, and it's a whole different thing. So, like Jay said, he went out and proved himself, and that takes all the pressure off having to try to do it on a daily basis in practice. He proved himself in the big stage.
All right, I'm going to ask you guys both the same question I asked Ryan Davis. What's the immediate future of golf as we try to navigate through PGA and LIV?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, I mean, I was a PGA guy my whole life, and most kids grow up wanting to get on the PGA Tour. And when LIV was in Tucson last year, I actually went out to watch the tournament for a while, and I was, kind of skeptical of what I was going to see, and it blew me away a little bit. They had a lot of energy. I know probably half the players on that tour, and they are having fun. And right now, they have the majority of the great players in the world are on LIV. They're not going away anywhere. And as I talked to Greg Norman out there, Greg, there's no reason why we couldn't have LIV and the PGA Tour get together, and there's enough money and there's enough golf for everybody. And did you ever hear about the Super Bowl? We had an AFL, NFL.
That's true.
You get together, ABA, NBA. And right now, there's something on the horizon that if someone took the time to do it, you got to take the best 16 players on LIV and the best 16 players off the PGA Tour. And do you think TV would buy that? The Ryder Cup, the President's Cup, what's that? People want to see the best play. And it's nice to have everybody that is at that level in one spot. And I just don't think LIV's going away. The Saudi fund, they're making over $1 billion a day. They're just not going anywhere.
Jay, what are your thoughts?
I don't think LIV's going away either, but I would love to see them work out and work things together so that the best players compete against each other and in the majors. I mean, I watch a little bit of golf, but I watch every major championship, and you want to see the best players there. And I love looking back at records and who won these tournaments. And if you're not seeing the best players winning majors, and it was proven last year, Brooks Koepka won a major, and he's on the LIV Tour. So I just think we need to get an agreement, and I think they can work together. At the end of the day, if it's the right agreement, I think golf will be better for it for sure.
Outstanding. Well, hey, I'm glad we were able to make this happen today between a former U of A golfer and the longtime head coach who coached him at the U of A, Jay Pennypacker, 1994, and Rick LaRose, who coached from 79 all the way to 2012. Guys, I appreciate both of you joining me for today.
My pleasure. It was terrific. And what a surprise to talk to Jay. Pac-Man, you're the best.
Thanks, Coach. Bear down.
There you go. Jay Pennypacker, Rick LaRose. Cricket gets you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Some freeway slowdowns on the eastbound side of I-10 between Miracle Mile and Congress. Crashes that are reported Grant Road west of Oracle, Valencia and Midvale Park, and also Tangerine to the west of Oracle. 47 the low and 74 partly cloudy tomorrow, 72 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate, not one based on anyone else. So if you drive safely, you could save money. Good to know. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today.
Are you ready? Ready to discover your soul, your wild side, your passion, your joy, and excitement. From world-class entertainment to award-winning dining to a luxurious resort. Discover all this and more. Discover with Soul at Casino del Sol, the soul of Tucson.
The official corporate sponsor of Arizona Athletics. Enterprise of the Pasquayaqui Tribe.
Don't miss out on any pre-game insight.
That's a little bit of what I want to see out of Boswell. Get Keyshawn to set him a back screen or something. Get him on a couple easy layups to kind of get him going a little bit.
Off the glass and good. A pretty shot for Kylan Boswell.
We go on 4 hours before every men's basketball game.
I always tell guys, let the coach take you in and out the game. Don't take yourself out. Stay aggressive. Don't hunt your shots, but if the shots are open, you take them.
DK, Kelvin, and J-Dubs on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Summer of 93, 76 days over 100. Summer of 23, the hottest on record.
We can't change the weather, but we can change your comfort.
Alaskan AC introduces the Grizzly.
The only air conditioner built for Arizona summers. It'll claw down hot temps.
The Grizzly.
This is getting intense.
It eats Arizona summers for breakfast.
Then it spits them out at lunch.
Wait a second.
The Grizzly claws the competition.
Tears them apart. Do another one.
Pounces on heat like it's a salmon spawning and rips it apart.
Like a salmon spawning?
Then takes a pirate sword and stabs high temperatures.
Hold it.
Aw, it was just getting good.
Folks, we designed a new air conditioner made to handle the heat and dust of Arizona summers. We call it the Grizzly.
Yeah.
Take it easy. It's tough as a grizzly, but gentle on your budget.
That pirate sword?
Before summer gets blazing, learn more about the Grizzly at AlaskanAC.com.
Did you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be a sign that your digestive system isn't working at its best? Taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil fiber powders help promote your daily digestive health using a plant-based fiber called psyllium. The gelling action of this special fiber traps and removes waste so you can feel lighter and more energetic. Metamucil, promoting digestive health for a better you. Learn more at metamucil.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Spring is on its way to southern Arizona, and while we're hoping for a few more weeks of mild weather, we know extreme heat comes next. So right now is the time to get your car or truck road trip ready. And with 14 convenient locations, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care is the place. Not sure about your car's air conditioner? Need to check out that light on your dashboard? Or make sure your battery can make it through another summer? Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care is here to help. With decades of experience here in Arizona and dozens of top shop awards for tires and automotive maintenance. And right now, save big on the brands you love, like Michelin, and get big rebates like $100 back on Cooper tires. Plus, buy 3, get 1 free on Cooper's new Pro Control Series tires. You can stack on even more savings when you pay with your Jack Furrier card. Check out jackfurriers.com for all the promotions and details, and even more money-saving coupons on top of our already low prices. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, since 1960, here to get you there.
Hey listener, welcome to Limu's Karaoke Lounge, where Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need, and the music never stops. Hit it!
There's an emu with a full-time job. His partner's Doug, but Limu's the heartthrob. Grubs and worms, that's what Limu eats. Gotta fuel up to save you money and hit the streets.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty. DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on this program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. We have been waxing golf here at the Tucson Country Club. It was the Arizona Thunderbirds Intercollegiate out here today, and the Arizona Wildcats win the tournament at 17 under. They actually were the only team, as the final scores eventually came in, they were the only team to finish under par in this event, as New Mexico, who was under par down the stretch, ended up finishing 4 over par as they shot 6 over par for the day. The only other team to shoot under par today was Wyoming. Wyoming as a team shot -7. The Wildcats on the day were -9, and they win it by what ends up being 21 shots over the New Mexico Lobos on the team side. And then your individual champion was Tiger Christensen at -10. He shot 65 today, a new course record since they reconfigured the course here at the Tucson Country Club. So 65 is the new course record for Tiger Christensen. He finished at 10 under for the tournament. Tianyi Zhang, a.k.a. Tony Zhang, the freshman out of China, was playing as an individual, which means he did not make the starting five. If you were with us, you heard Coach LaRose and them talking about qualifiers and all of that. That's essentially how they do it now under the Jim Anderson regime here. And he did not qualify as one of the five, but finished second, 2 shots behind Tiger Christensen, and actually at one point late in the afternoon was tied for the lead, was Tony Jiang. Tiger Christensen birdied 7 of the last 9 holes. Tony had 2 birdies on his final track. In fact, I saw the one he had at 15. I got a chance to get over and see a little bit of him. But J-Dub, I think what really is interesting about that, I mean, again, here's a guy who did not make the, quote, starting lineup for this event. You only play 5 scores that count, and I think out of the 5, sometimes in certain tournaments, you only take the top 4 of the 5, so even if you're playing, your score may not actually count to your team's eventual score, but he wasn't even playing in the starting 5, and he almost won the tournament, a freshman. That's pretty impressive to say, I think, what this Arizona men's golf team has this year and what the potential for the remainder of this season could be for the Wildcats.
Yeah, I mean, there's the system of only having, being able to choose 5 DK is always going to leave somebody who maybe in a system like you were talking about with Coach LaRose, where you have all the players turning in cards every day and tracking, who's playing the best. That's going to be your starting 5, I would imagine. But we're in NCAA tournament basketball week. Look no further than Long Beach State University, right? I mean, just because you lost 5 games in a row doesn't mean you can't win 5 games in a row and win your conference tournament. So great for the young man, freshman, to come in and play so well today. And certainly that's going to inspire confidence moving forward. I mean, getting the opportunity to get out there, and obviously looking at the scores, didn't look like a lot of the teams struggled a bit on the greens. I don't know about those pin placements, but yeah, I mean, for a young person like that to finish so strong in a tournament like this, it's just going to be great for confidence, if nothing else, moving forward.
Yeah, the Wildcats will have 2 more tournaments coming up before they head to the Pac-12 championships, which are going to be right here in the state of Arizona. The Wildcats will play in about 3 weeks at a tournament up in Phoenix at the Papago. Say that 10 times fast. I think I've actually played Papago. They'll play the Thunderbird Collegiate there. A lot of these tournaments have very similar names. That'll be a 2-day event in which they'll play 3 rounds as well. And then they'll play the Western Intercollegiate, which will be up in Santa Cruz, California. That'll actually be 2 back-to-back tournaments. So you'll play a tournament in Phoenix on Friday and Saturday. Then you'll have Sunday off. Then you'll play Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So they'll actually play 5 rounds in a 6-day stretch in April, and that'll lead into the Pac-12 championships, which will be April 26th, 27th, and 28th. Those will also be up in suburban Phoenix in Carefree, up at the Desert Force Golf Club. So lots still to come for the Arizona men. I was remarking just kind of, and again, I talk a lot about, the Directors Cup and how it relates to Arizona and how things have changed within this athletic program over the course of, the last, since they started the Directors Cup, which is 30 years ago. I think this is the 30th anniversary year of the Directors Cup. I believe it was 93-94 was the first year they did it. So this would have been the 30th anniversary year. But, back in that time, golf was another very, very strong program at the University of Arizona. When I say strong, I mean they were going to the NCAA tournament every single year. I mean, they did not – just looking at the history of this, Arizona, and this goes all the way back to a guy named Fred Ink. Fred Ink was the golf coach he started the golf program at the University of Arizona in 1934-1935. The Wildcats made their first NCAA championships in 1941. They essentially only went 4 times to the NCAA championships between 1935 and 1987, which was when Rick LaRose's first team went to the NCAA championships. But they were in the after that, they were in the NCAA championships every year from 1987 through 2007. So that's 21 tournaments. They made 21 straight NCAA championships. Then they missed the championships in 2008. And Rick LaRose's last year was 2012. But since 2011, which was the last championship that Rick LaRose made, the Wildcats have only played in the NCAA championships twice. And that shows you, or I'm sorry, they've only played in it once since the last one that he made in 2011. It just shows you, again, where Arizona as a whole athletically was in the 90s and early 2000s, where you had, pretty much all your programs were making NCAA championships, to where now it's much tougher for the Wildcats to get in to those types of events.
Yeah, you don't got to tell me. I graduated high school in 93, so 97 is my, graduation year from college. So the 94 to 97 stretch for Arizona athletics was pretty crazy. I do know, DK, that they added match play, right, in 2009.
Right.
So it used to be just stroke for the NCAA championships, and they've added match play. It may be a coincidence, but I do know that 4 out of the 5 final winners when it was just stroke play were all from the Pac-12. And since they've changed it to stroke and match play, I think there's only 2 champions who have won. Stanford won in 2019, Oregon in 2016. Obviously, I'm not trying to say that the Southeastern Conference is better at match play golf, but that is something to point. It is the change between that structure and the format. But yeah, I think as Coach said right there, the reason that they were so darn good is they had so many great players. And if today's scores are any indication, DK, when you got a freshman on your team finishing second in a big tournament like this, that sign's pointing towards the amount of talent on this year's roster is certainly there. So hopefully it's just a matter of time before Coach Anderson gets the team back to those NCAA championships and making big noise there.
So just to shine another light on Rick LaRose, they made that first NCAA championships in 1987. They finished 18th. After that, they went 6th place. This is 6th place in the nation. 6th, 3rd, tied for 18th, won the national championship in 92, and then 16th, 14th, 20th, 5th, 26th, 30th, 20th, 3rd, 9th, 17th, 3rd. So they had another strong run between 2000 and 2004, where they finished in the top 4 in 3 of those 5 years. And so, again, he was an incredible coach here. Hall of Fame level coach, Rick LaRose here at the University of Arizona.
The best part, DK, of 92 was?
Yeah.
The School Up North finished second.
That's true.
With a guy named Phil Mickelson winning the overall.
Yeah.
So the year that Arizona won, they got to, they got to hold the bigger trophy while their little brothers from up north got the smaller trophy.
Yeah. So, and Jim Anderson took his team to the NCAAs in 2022. They just missed, tied for 8th. You got to be top 8 at the regionals to get in. So they were just out of the mix last year. And it looks like they've got a club this year that's NCAA championship worthy. So like Rick LaRose said, you hope at this point now that you're beginning. Again, this is a team that you've got a Pac-12 championship. They won the Pac-12 championship in 2021 with that team that was just incredible for that 3-day stretch. That team just missed at regionals, getting to the NCAAs. But then the next year you get to the NCAAs, winning the regional, and then last year coming up just a bit short at regionals. So the last 3-4 years since COVID have been very strong for this Arizona men's golf program. And again, Jim Anderson's got it going in the right place. He's got some incredibly talented players right now. In Tiger Christensen among those, and we've talked a lot about Tony Xiong, a freshman, Sam Summerhauser, and some of these other young men that they've got on this team. So it's going to be fun to watch this whole thing play out to see if they can be that second team under Jim Anderson to get to the NCAA championships later this spring.
Currently, DK ranked 8th in the coaches poll, the Division I Golf Week coaches poll.
Right.
Arizona comes in at 8 this week.
Yeah, it's in a good place. I mean, you talk about again, they're one of several ranked teams right now playing sports. I believe they sent out a tweet a few weeks ago. There were 6 ranked teams in the winter sports circuit for the University of Arizona. When you look at men's golf, women's golf, men's tennis, which had hit their highest ranking ever. I think it's 7 in the nation, as well as gymnastics has had one heck of a run this year, and they're ranked 22nd, I think, again this week. They've been consistently in the top 25 for the first time in a number of years for the entire season. John Court's crew has done some good things. The Arizona softball team got back in the rankings a few weeks ago as well after starting the year not in the rankings. And so, yeah, there's some good stuff happening right now at the University of Arizona as we transition out of the winter sports and into the spring sports as we head down the final stretch of this 23-24 school year, athletic year. All right, again, we're out at Tucson Country Club. We'll take a break here. We'll come back. We're going to have much more. You're going to hear from the Arizona men's basketball team coming up. We'll hear from Caleb Love and Keyshawn Johnson. Also, we'll let you hear our interview we had earlier with Tiger Christensen and Sam Summerhauser, who finished 1-3 here at this tournament over the course of the last 2 days. It's DK on the Sports Tip, and you're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Collisions reported Valencia and Midvale Park with some westbound slowing. Alvernon north of 22nd Street. Shannon north of Linda Vista, also a crash 12th Avenue south of Irvington. Travel's busy at Ahaway and Mission, and also busy traffic on eastbound I-10 between Miracle Mile and Congress. 47 are overnight low, 74 partly cloudy tomorrow, and a 71 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors. eBay Motors is here for the ride with the parts you need for the prices you want. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, it's guaranteed to fit your ride the first time, every time, or your money back. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
The secret programs that most credit card companies won't tell you about. They'll help you consolidate or settle your debts for a fraction of what you owe. With DebtBlue's Success Guarantee, you pay nothing unless your debt is reduced or completely resolved. There's no risk. The more you owe, the more DebtBlue can save you. See how easy it is to get started with free information. Let DebtBlue show you how 10 minutes could save you thousands. Call now. 800-200-6895. That's 800-200-6895.
Solid
I'm just
interviews.
living sky high right now. I'm very thankful for it, and the team at DebtBlue.
and cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Mount Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
Coming to you live from Tucson Country Club, the Arizona Firebirds Intercollegiate NCAA Men's Golf Tournament wrapped up here just at the beginning of our show about 2 hours ago. The Arizona Wildcats win the tournament with a score of 17 under par. They win it by 21 shots over New Mexico. New Mexico actually beat Arizona in the tournament they hosted at the end of January, the NIT. The Lobos that day won by 1 shot. Today, though, it's Arizona by 21 shots over the Lobos. And that's the team side of it. On the individual side, your Arizona Wildcats took the top 3 spots on the podium. Tiger Christensen wins the event at -10. He shot a course record 65 in the final round today, birdieing 7 of the final 9 holes. Of course, the one hole I saw him play one entire hole, and that was one of the holes he did not birdie. In fact, he bogeyed the 17th hole. Hit a bad tee shot that landed a little bit short on the par 3. Had a nice chip up to within about 7 feet of the cup, and then just left his par putt a little bit short for the bogey 4, but came right back and birdied 18 to finish at 7 under for the day. And again, a course record 65 for Tiger Christensen, who finishes first at -10. Tony Zhang, the freshman out of China, finishes at -8. He was 4 under today with a 68. And then Sam Sommerhauser finishes third at -4. Sam was +2 on the day. He shot a 74. Wildcats had 4 players finish in the top 5 of this event. Johnny Walker also finished at -2. He was tied for 4th with a couple of players from New Mexico, Connor Adams and Albert Bonetta. So 4 of your 6 players that played today for Arizona finishing in the top 5. That is one heck of an event as the Wildcats as a team win for the 2nd time this season, and as an individual, the 4th time in his college career, Tiger Christensen gets the victory. 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number. If you would like to get in on the program today, you can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. Don't forget to download our app. In fact, text app to 520-848-1290, and I'll shoot you a link. You can download our app and take Wildcats Radio 1290 with you wherever you go. We are less now than 48 hours from the beginning of the NCAA tournament, at least as it relates to the University of Arizona. If I'm not mistaken, J-Dub, the first 4 games are underway as we speak, I would think. No? Yes?
Yeah, I haven't been paying attention. Let me go check for you.
Okay, so I think we've got first 4 games tonight. I don't know if they still hold those strictly in Dayton, Ohio or not, but we're going to have first.
Wagner is currently ahead of Howard 50-37 with 13 minutes and 33 seconds left in the second half.
All right, that is a 16 versus 16 play-in game there between Wagner and Howard. Howard, the champion of the MEAC Conference tournament. I have a bunch of folks in my family who are Howard grads, so I'm sure they are on pins and needles to see if the Bison can come back and win that ball game. They got in at 18 and 16. One other game tonight, and that's going to be a 10-10 play-in, and that's Colorado State against Virginia, and that game will start in about an hour or so. The other games will be tomorrow. The other 2 games are tomorrow. That'll be a 16-16 Grambling against Montana State, and another 10-10 Colorado out of the Pac-12 against Boise State. Arizona will be one of the first teams that will commence play on Thursday. They will play at 11 a.m. in Salt Lake City against Long Beach State. Arizona as the number 2 seed. Long Beach State, the winners of the Big West, as the number 5 seed. This will be at the Delta Center. That's the NBA facility there in Salt Lake City, so not the Huntsman Center at the University of Utah. And we had a chance to hear yesterday from Keyshawn Johnson and Caleb Love. Caleb Love today, as we mentioned at the top of the show, named a third-team All-American. Let's hear what the fellas had to say about their NCAA placement and their game coming up against Long Beach State.
Just kind of take me through that last 24 hours and starting to get ready for this.
Oh, it was a great experience. Just saying, them there for us and supporting us. They've been supporting us all season, and it was a great showing. And so I think it was an exciting moment for us to start this new journey, new season. And so I think we're all ready to go, and like I said, we're excited.
That extra day usually, Arizona and programs that you have come from, San Diego State and North Carolina, you're playing in that championship game, but you had that extra day of rest. Tommy kind of talked about getting the reset and all that. How did that feel to have that opportunity to, although you want to play in the championship game, have that extra day of kind of, getting your mindset switched to the NCAA tournament?
Of course, we want to be playing for the Pac-12 tournament championship, but things happen, so we just got to use things to our advantage. Getting that extra rest, getting the rest from Saturday and Sunday, having those 2 days to just get our mind back and reset, and start back from square one. It's a whole new season coming up.
Well, what did you guys think about the draw? Do you guys look at the brackets, or just Long Beach State? What did you think about the potential road you have?
We just take it one game at a time. We focus on Long Beach State right now, not looking too far ahead to any other games, and so I think we got that mindset of just taking it one game at a time and focus on one task at a time.
Although, Caleb, I got to say, in your case, at least people will probably remind you North Carolina's in that bracket. I mean, how does that hit you? And do you shut it out? What do you do?
Yeah, I'm not really focused on them. I'm focused on us. Like I said, we focus on Long Beach State.
How would you describe the last 3 games for you from an individual standpoint? I know that you always want to put the team first, but that did include a couple losses. But just from yourself, is there something that has just not worked well for you?
Yeah, I wasn't really in a rhythm, but like I said, this it happens. You go through a little stress, but I've been playing long enough, and I've been through a lot of experiences of ups and downs, and so I think I just want to put that behind me, and got that reset button, and I'm ready to go for March Madness.
Does it happen often, and if it does, how do you get out of it? Just more shots?
Just keep your confidence high. I think and then just focus in a little bit more on the techniques of what got me here as far as the putting in the work, focusing in on the little things. Maybe if my elbow isn't high enough, or I'm not holding my form long enough, something like that. Just kind of focusing on the little things, and I'll be, like I said, I'll be ready to go.
Do you go back and watch those last 3, like Brian said, or do you just say, okay, this is what I need to do?
No, not really. I watched it, but I think you watch more of the good clips of what I was doing to make me succeed, and I've been doing that with Rem a lot, and he's just been showing me a lot of clips of what was working and what had me going. So, like I said, I think it's kind of good that I went through that. Now I can hit the reset button and be ready to go.
I think Andy Enfield said something about how they really went after you and tried to take even your drives away. I mean, were there certain things you noticed even last week in the tournament against SC again, or Oregon, that maybe teams hadn't tried against you before?
Yeah, they just try to, like I said, take me out of rhythm, and then, just kind of, probably try to make me take tougher shots, and, I got to move more without the ball. I got to get an offensive rebound. I got to get out in transition to get myself going, something like that. I got to find a catch and shoot or something like that. So, just playing off my teammates, playing still within the system, but, still contributing in other ways as far as, playing defense, rebounding, being active on a defensive end and things like that.
Anything else outside of basketball? You change your routine up when you're going through kind of an uncharacteristic?
Yeah, I gotta get more rest. I think that's been a major key of me playing great basketball, is just getting my rest and sticking to certain routines that I stick to.
What do you remember from last year, your run with San Diego State? Just like, was there a game during that where it almost didn't go your way, and then next thing you know, you guys are in the championship? Like something that stands out from that?
The closest game, pretty much we had, of course, the FAU game, but the Creighton game where we won with Darion Tamell's clutch free throws, you know. But even throughout the journey getting there, it wasn't never a time where we felt down like this might not be our game, because you don't got no time to think like that. You know, we was just fighting each and every possession. You know, even if it wasn't like our leading scorer, Matt Bradley game, like he would still contribute some other way on getting a charge or something like that. A lot of times it was either me or him guarding the other team's best player. So, you know, we were just trying to find any way to win, you know. You can't really control, like, putting the ball in the hoop all the time, you know. So you just got to be able to try to get a deflection, try to help the team win in any which way.
On that note, what's the importance of having the urgency this week as opposed to really any other week of practice? You know, last year you did it and then went and played 7 games in the tournament.
It's really one game at a time. Like, you can't look forward. We know if we win this game who we'll probably play next, but can't worry about none of that. You know, you gotta just study your film. We got Long Beach State coming up next, so we just gotta learn their tendencies, stick to our game plan, and just find something that'll work and stick to it. We can't look no further than that. We just gotta take it one game at a time, one play at a time.
Last year, one of the big criticisms, 2 years maybe, is the team hasn't been tough enough. And here you are to help with that. Do you feel that? And is there kind of maybe some lean on your shoulders to get that done?
I mean, I can't really speak on last year's team, but you look up here at me and Caleb Love, tough is never a question between us, you know. I feel like we're the toughest dudes in the country, you know. It's not really just about being the strongest, it's just about having a heart. And right now, I know I could lean on him. I know he could lean on me. You look at everybody else on our roster, it's there. The toughness is there.
You feel like, does it compare to what you saw with San Diego State last year as far as that maybe you see that resiliency, toughness in this team?
For sure. There's similarities and differences between both teams, but this team right here, we got exactly what it takes, just as well as we did last year. Last year we didn't know. You never know until you make it, but we fought to put our name in the national championship game, and this year we're going to do the same thing.
How important is it to set the tone early in these types of games? Caleb and Kashad, you both have played in these types of matchups where you're the heavy favorite, but you've seen underdogs kind of stay with the game, and then all of a sudden, last 5 minutes, that's where they make their run. How important is it to set the tone early in these types of matchups?
I think it's very important, you know, just kind of putting your stamp on the game. And, you know, you can't take no team lightly in the March Madness. You know, any team could be beaten. So, you know, we definitely going into each game locked and loaded and, you know, focused, watching a lot of film. And like you said, you know, it's definitely important to, you know, kind of put your foot on the gas right away.
You guys handled the Mountain Road trip extremely well, even after a triple overtime game at Utah. You guys went to Colorado 2 nights later and, you know, beat the doors off them. I mean, how does that experience, that road trip, that road swing, and what it takes to take care of your bodies in that situation, how does that experience help you going into this week?
I think it helps because, you know, it kind of gives us more confidence going into this game, into these games, and because, you know, we've been through it, and, you know, just playing that just gives us a little bit more experience on, you know, how it might go. So I think we're definitely going to be ready, and, you know, like I said, we just take it one game at a time, man. Like, you know, it's very important to do that, stay where your feet are. You know, like, and, you know, I think we're definitely got a lot of dudes that's ready.
Can you just talk about Keyshawn's increased three-point shooting over the last couple of games, hit 4 against USC? How does that help the flow of the offense, or how has that been?
It helps very much. You know, he's put in so much work, and I think, you know, I see him work out every day, day in and day out, and so it doesn't really surprise me. Because, you know, he's been doing this, and, you know, he has a lot of confidence in himself, and we have a lot of confidence in him. So each time, you know, he shoots the ball, you know, it's got a great chance of going in. So, but he's been doing that all year, you know. So I feel like, you know, it definitely helps our offense because, you know, you can't really help help off of him, he's gonna knock it down. But if you close out on him, he's gonna put it on your head. So it's definitely a big thing with our offense.
All right, both the Arizona men's and women's basketball teams left Tucson for their respective NCAA tournament sites. The men headed to Salt Lake City today. The ladies are probably at this point now, I think they left really early for Storrs, Connecticut. Hartford probably was the fly-in place there to get up to Storrs, Connecticut. And both will play on Thursday. You will hear the men's game here on Wildcats Radio 1290. Our coverage will begin at 7 a.m. The women will be on Freedom 1400. Derek Palmer will have the call there with coverage beginning at 3:45. All right, let's get a break in here. We'll come back. We'll hear more. We were at the Tucson Country Club, Arizona Intercollegiate. Wildcats win this golf tournament. You'll hear our conversation we had a little bit earlier with the winner of the tournament, Tiger Christensen, and Sam Summerhauser, who finished second. It'll be our Desert Diamond Casino replay for today. Getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather. Here is Cricket.
And from the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. With some backups on westbound I-10 as you approach Ruthroff. So busy traffic eastbound I-10 between Miracle Mile and Congress.
That's fine.
Crashes Congress at I-10, Alvernon north of 22nd Street, Valencia and Midvale Park. Also some slowing for Ajo and Mission and also on southbound La Cholla at Ajo Way. 47 the overnight low, 74 partly cloudy tomorrow, and 70 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Shop limited time doorbusters during MVP's bonus days. Buy one Metabo HBT 15-degree roofing nailer, get one box of Metabo HBT 1¼ collated roofing nails free, a $49.98 value. Valid 3/18 through 3/20. Selection varies by location.
Celebrate Easter at the Park Place Mall with fun for the entire family.
Click on over to one of our video streams. We are on Facebook Live, Twitch, Twitter, as well as YouTube. You can watch the program Wildcats Radio 1290 on all of those except for Twitter. It's at Wildcats 1290. And Sam Summerhauser also joining us as they swept the podium with Tony Jiang in the middle at -8. And first of all, I'll start with you, Sam. Just your thoughts on this tournament and how you played here for these 2 days.
Yeah, I know we had a lot of confidence coming in. We've been playing really well, and being our home course, we just had to stay out of our own way and just play smart. And we knew the course was playing hard, so we had that extra confidence that we knew that the course better than any other team, and it showed this week for sure.
Yeah, that was clear because I remember when I looked at the scores yesterday, I'm thinking to myself, holy cow, we've got all these double-digit plus numbers except for Arizona. What makes this course so tough?
I thought it was super firm around the greens this week. They added 500 yards of length, too, from last year. So, yeah, it's just super firm around the greens. The pin positions were pretty tough, so it's hard to get the ball close to the hole and make birdies.
Tiger Christensen is the individual champion at -10. Tiger, congratulations. I guess I saw the one hole that didn't go well, which was 17, when you got the bogey there because you got 7 birdies on the back 9. And Coach Anderson was saying that you told him you thought the front 9 is the easy side of this course right now.
Well, I still think there's definitely more that can happen on the back 9. It's a very interesting segment of holes, especially 13, 14, 15. A lot can happen with drivable par 4s and really tricky second shots on the par 5 on 13. So you got to be kind of plodding yourself around, even though at first the holes might seem short and easy. But yeah, it's very easy to get away with one there and get some bogeys even. So yeah, to play those well was definitely a key. And hey, I just kind of bombed through those back 9.
So how many collegiate wins is this for you now?
This is my 4th.
4th win. What's it like when you win?
Great. Yeah, I've been I've been working really hard the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Kind of had 2 poor tournaments and just had to kind of put my head down and work on some things that I've noticed. And yeah, to see it kind of pay off. Still a lot more air up, but to pay off a little bit in this tournament was definitely good to see.
Now let's talk. You mentioned you had 2 poor tournaments. We were talking to Coach Anderson last week. He said you guys made some equipment adjustments. How did you kind of analyze what was happening and what you wanted to try to do differently and the reasoning to make? I think you changed something with your shafts as well.
Yeah, the equipment adjustment was actually pretty easy because my driver was just broken. It was there was no way it was anything but normal because any other shaft would go straight and then the other one would go like 40 yards right. So I knew that something was off, and then I got a new shaft in and it worked perfectly. So that definitely freed things up, and then I could just, when I know my equipment's perfect, then you can look at things, what you're doing wrong, what you can improve on. And yeah, to get that out of the way and have my shaft work was definitely important. And yeah.
You guys win this tournament, obviously, by 13 shots over New Mexico. Last time we chatted was over at the NIT. They had gotten you that day. Did you guys feel just like, with more tournaments under your belt from that initial start of the season, that you guys just would be more comfortable, Sam, this week here?
Yeah, I think it helps a lot being our home course, too. I think you get a lot of home course advantage here, just knowing the different slopes and where to land the ball. And obviously we lost to them by 1 at our other home tournament, so just to get back at them this tournament felt pretty good. Yeah. You
guys have had some. We were laughing about this on the air yesterday. We were talking. I had said that Tucson Country Club, a beautiful place to come out and play golf, and then my partner J Dub kind of reminded me. Well, wait a minute. They just played in Hawaii in Cabo San Lucas. So what's it like just traveling around playing these beautiful resort style paradise courses that you guys get to play in college?
It's pretty awesome, especially to do it with some of your best friends on the team. It's just super fun just to hang out and see like some great courses. We play a great schedule. Thanks to our coach, he gets us in a lot of good tournaments, and with that we get to go to a lot of good places. So it's pretty fun.
Mm-hmm. Tony didn't even make the starting lineup, and he almost won this thing. How about that kid?
Yeah, that just shows how deep our team is. Tony's a freshman, and you can tell with some of the scores he's shot throughout the year, he's going to be good.
Tiger, what are these qualifying rounds like when you guys are trying to make the 5 to get to play in these events?
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty close to a tournament, really. I think everyone kind of feels different about them, I guess. But, yeah, we make it as close to a tournament as possible. We put tricky pins, and really everyone's just kind of in their own zone. And, yeah, it's very competitive, so that definitely makes us better. And, yeah, I think it only helps.
Tiger Christensen, Sam Summerhauser joining us. They finished 1-3 at this event. I don't think I'd seen these cool Wilbur hats before. Are those new this year?
Did we get them?
We got them last year.
Last year?
Last season at Trinity Forest at the Jackson T. Stevens Cup.
Okay. Whose idea was that? Was that a team idea, or was who?
I think we all just kind of came up with it. That'd be cool.
Wilbur with a golf club. I like that swinging. Those are really, because I saw you guys, because I always look for the when I'm out there and I'm trying to find you guys, I always look for the A on the hat, and I was like, that doesn't look like an A on the hat. I'm like, what are they wearing on the hat? And I finally got a chance to see that it was Wilbur. So you guys got 3 weeks off now. What's the mentality? I talked to Coach about this. What's the mentality now for you guys as players as you ramp up now for the event in Phoenix in mid-April?
For me, I mean, I think most of us are just going to, get back into routine, practice as much as we can, and for me, it's just head down and work on everything so I can improve even more and hopefully shoot even better scores than this week.
All right, so Sam, take me through, okay, you played today, you played 2 rounds yesterday, you played a round today. So what's the rest of this week like? Do you take a day off or 2? Will you be right back out here practicing tomorrow? Take me through Sunday, the rest of this week, what you'll do as a golfer.
Yeah, especially after the 36-18 ones, I probably will take a day off just to rest the body for tomorrow. I'm pretty tired right now because yesterday was a grind and then have to do it again today. So I'll probably just take one day off and then get back at it on Thursday.
Thursday?
Yeah.
You gonna watch the basketball game at all?
Of course, yeah. Yeah.
What are you excited about this new clubhouse? It's starting to come together over there. I think, next month you guys will be in it?
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. It's looking pretty awesome. I know they've always wanted to do it, and to be here at Tucson Country Club is pretty awesome. We have a great course here. We got a great chipping green built, and then the facility should be done in around a month, so it should be pretty awesome.
I saw the legendary Rick LaRose around here today. You guys have a chance to meet that coaching legend and get to talk to him, talk golf with him?
Yes, yeah. He's out here a lot, so we see him a bunch. I think he practices pretty much every day. So,
yeah. Has he ever given you any profound advice at all? Or?
No.
No?
No, he's just kind of minding his own business, says hi, and just works on his stuff. He's a grinder.
So now 6-7 tournaments into this season, where do you think this team is? How good can this team be? Is this an NCAA championship level team you guys got?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so too. I think obviously if everyone's on their A game, we're really, really good. But even when we don't have our best stuff and maybe only two guys show up, we're still capable of winning tournaments. And yeah, I'm excited for what's coming in the postseason, and I think we'll just get better from here. And we definitely have a team that's capable of showing up at nationals.
And for you, Sam, obviously maybe today's round was not maybe what you wanted. What maybe didn't work well for you out there today to get more birds on the card?
Yeah, I didn't putt great today. I felt like I was hitting the ball decent. I just didn't really convert when I needed to. But I played good yesterday, and overall it was a good tournament. Not as good today, but I'll learn from it.
Yeah, so when you wake up, because I would imagine you woke up today believing you had a chance maybe to win this thing, and it doesn't happen. So now how do you reset yourself from what happened today to, maybe try to be better on that closing day next time?
Yeah, I was talking to Coach LaRose after the round, and he said...
So he did give you some... We were about to get this piece of advice.
A little bit. He said just take in the whole tournament and analyze everything, and then just take what you need to do better, how you were feeling out there in the final round, and just take everything as a learning experience. So.
And obviously, guys, it's an individual game, but you're playing in this team concept. Yannick struggled a bit this week. How do you guys talk to him about maybe what he did? You guys maybe all get together as a group, look at each other's tapes or whatever, look at each other and kind of get a feel for, okay, well, I'll give you this piece of advice. Let's give him this advice on maybe how he can handle some of these holes a little bit better next time you play here.
It's difficult in golf because you can have an off week and feel like you didn't really do that much wrong. So
right.
It's hard to really have 1 week and then be like, yeah, you got to do this better or whatever. It might just be a couple things that just didn't go his way, and you really just have to kind of, just put a check mark next to this tournament and look forward to the next one and see if you can take some things that you didn't do good here. But usually, I mean, you just got to keep on playing. It's you have a good week and you have a bad week. It's just so random and so difficult that you can't really say you got to do this exactly better and it'll get better. It's just no guarantees, and you just kind of cope with that and work your way through whatever works, kind of.
Did you guys watch the Players this past weekend?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
What were your thoughts on Chef getting another one?
So good.
Yeah, he's playing unreal right now.
What's he doing out there? What do you see when you watch him play?
He's just hitting it better than everyone. And then he found out he switched putters a couple weeks ago, and then found something a little clicked, and he won 2 weeks in a row. So it's sometimes something as small as that can give you a little bit of confidence. But yeah, it's unreal to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you guys were unreal to watch these last 2 days, guys. Congratulations, Tiger, another championship, your fourth. Sam, good to see you on the podium there as well, and we look forward to you guys ramping up here for Pac-12s a little bit later in the spring here.
Perfect. Thank you. Thanks for having us on.
We got Sam Summerhauser there, Tiger Christensen, Tiger the champion at -10, best round. Oh, well, before I let you go, I got to ask you about that. I didn't ask you about that. But they said best round ever here with the remodel here. How about that?
Yeah, course record.
Course record, yeah.
Yeah.
Did they give you anything extra for that? You get a free meal or?
I don't know.
A nice sleeve of golf balls or something like that.
Yeah, they haven't said anything. I don't know.
Well, we'll have to see what Ryan can get you over there for having the course record. Guys, again, thank you. Appreciate you stopping by.
That was the Wildcat Radio Replay with the best of the best from 1290. It's brought to you by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Some backups on westbound I-10 as you approach Ruthroff. Also, we have a vehicle fire reported at Ajo and La Cholla. There are currently backups for southbound La Cholla at Ajo Way. Also, intersection at Mission and Ajo busy. And collisions, Congress at I-10 clearing. Also, Valencia and Midvale Park, Wetmore and First Avenue. And for your weather, 47 the low, 74 partly cloudy tomorrow, and 70 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples Print Big Sale means the more you print, the more you save. Get $20 off your print purchase of 100 or more, $50 off your print purchase of 200 or more, and $100 off your print purchase of 300 or more. Offer ends 4/6. See staples.com/print for details. Print more, save more at Staples.
At Right Way, our team wouldn't last 5 minutes against the Wildcats. But when it comes to great service and your home comfort, well, that's a slam dunk. Whether it's heating and cooling, water heaters, or a block drain, give us a call today and let us win the game for you. Or visit www.rightwayac.com. Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing is proud to be an official sponsor of Arizona Athletics. Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. If it's worth doing, do it the right way.
Broadway in Tucson presents the Rockin' 2023-2024 season featuring 8 blockbuster productions including Disney's Aladdin, The Book of Mormon, Hairspray, and Chicago. Enjoy the Southern Arizona musical premieres of Tina, the Tina Turner Musical, Ain't Too Proud, The Life and Time of the Temptations, MJ the Musical, and Mrs. Doubtfire. Secure your choice season tickets today and get the ultimate in flexibility and the lowest prices all season. Visit BroadwayInTucson.com and secure your season tickets today.
Summer of 93, 76 days over 100. Summer of 23, the hottest on record.
We can't change the weather, but we can change your comfort.
Alaskan AC introduces the Grizzly.
The only air conditioner built for Arizona summers. It'll claw down hot temps.
The Grizzly.
This is getting intense.
It eats Arizona summers for breakfast.
Then it spits them out at lunch.
Wait a second.
The Grizzly claws the competition.
Tears them apart. Do another one.
Pounces on heat like it's a salmon spawning and rips it apart.
Like a salmon spawning?
Then takes a pirate sword and stabs high temperatures.
Hold it.
Aw, it was just getting good.
Folks, we designed a new air conditioner made to handle the heat and dust of Arizona summers. We call it the Grizzly.
Yeah.
Take it easy. It's tough as a grizzly, but gentle on your budget.
That pirate sword?
Before summer gets blazing, learn more about the Grizzly at AlaskanAC.com.
Get the one and done you want for your dog's monthly protection. NexGard Plus, a Foxalon or Moxidectin and Pyrantel chewable tablets. Protects against fleas, ticks, heartworm disease, roundworms, and hookworms. All in one delicious, beef-flavored soft chew. Use with caution in dogs with a history of seizures or neurologic disorders. Dogs should be tested for existing heartworm infection prior to starting a preventive. Ask your vet about NexGard Plus Chews.
Getting your biggest tax refund from Jackson Hewitt can lead to some spirited reactions.
Jackson Hewitt!
Jackson Hewitt is so sure they'll get you your biggest refund that if they don't, you get your money back plus $100.
Jackson Hewitt!
Switch to Jackson Hewitt and we'll beat what you paid last year, even if you filed online. Ain't nothing to it. Switch to Jackson Hewitt and pay less for tax prep, guaranteed. Proof of prior year payment required when filing. New clients only at participating locations through April 7th. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com.
Make sure you download or update the Wildcats Radio 1290 app. We've got the entire state covered like no other sports radio station in southern Arizona. Plus, when you have the app, you can cover U of A sports with Wildcats Radio 1290 anywhere and everywhere you go and out of town, too. The mountains, the beach, working out, or maybe even...
Oh, no. Turn that off.
Download or update the Wildcats Radio 1290 app today and never miss a moment of sports analysis. Well, maybe an occasional moment. Wildcats Radio 1290.
My heat and air work in a state of disrepair.
If there's a hot spot in your house, you may have leaky ductwork. The Department of Energy says 95% of homes do. Those leaks can pull in dirt and humidity. I'm Ron Arenas, the owner of Picture Rocks Cooling. Ask how we can tackle those leaky ducts and keep cool air in and dirt and humidity out with AeroSeal. Call Picture Rocks at 520-440-4069.
Picture Rocks Cooling, heating and plumbing.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. Final segment of the show here from Tucson Country Club as the sun is setting into my face here. If you're watching on one of our many video streams, we are lit up like Vegas, as somebody once said here. Arizona, the men's golf team wins the Arizona Thunderbirds Intercollegiate today by 21 shots over New Mexico. Tiger Christensen, who you just heard there in that interview, won the individual title with a score of -10, winning by 2 shots over his teammate, the freshman out of China, Tony Zhang. We did not have a question of the day today, but we did have one yesterday. And it pertained to the Wildcats being the number 2 seed in the NCAA tournament, getting a number 15 seed for the second straight year. And that number 15 seed this year being Long Beach State, the beach. And I asked if you were more scared this year of Long Beach State as a number 15 seed opponent versus last year when the Wildcats were facing Princeton as a number 15 seed. That question of the day has now concluded. And 70%, it was 70% to 30% saying no, Long Beach State does not scare you more than the number 15 seed Princeton Tigers did last year. We got some comments. Some more comments came in after the show on this particular question of the day. Tucson Born and Bred says, only because it is now. am I more scared than I was last year? Ask me again on Friday. Appreciate Tucson born and bred chiming in on that. Ron Arenas, our guy, checked in. In fact, J-Dub, let's go ahead. And I forgot we were going to try to get Ron on the phone. Let's go ahead and do that now since we have some time in this segment. Ron Arenas checked in and said, no, both teams like to run. I'm hoping for a fast-paced, high-scoring game. That's our guy, Ron Arenas from Picture Rocks Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. He was the sponsor of our Pac-12 road trip that we took to Las Vegas, 2 weeks in Las Vegas. Bill Van Pelt checks in. Just like Princeton, look out, Cats. Do not assume an easy win. And Bill says, go Cats. Also, Ray Camacho checks in. He says, zone defense a little? Yeah, that's what Long Beach plays. They play zone defense. So that has been one of the things that has given the Wildcats issues so far this season. James Buchanan says, of course it scares Cats fans. We've seen this movie before, and oftentimes it ends poorly. Guys looking ahead, not taking their opponents seriously, all depends on if Black Jack Boswell shows up. Unfortunately, he is the key to the team's success, that and turnovers. Black Jack Boswell is in reference to a picture that surfaced over the weekend of what appeared to be Kylan Boswell at a blackjack table in Las Vegas. Now, Kylan is only 18 years old, so how he got to play at a blackjack table remains to be seen. Tommy Lloyd did address that in his comments on Saturday and did not go into length about the situation, but did say that it had been addressed internally. So clearly Tommy laying to some credibility that was indeed his player that was at the blackjack table. Concerning it all to you, J-Dub, that Kylan, and apparently that was taken the night before the Oregon game. There were reports that it might have been as late or early as 4 a.m. prior to the Oregon game. We can't confirm that was the time or not, but certainly not maybe something you want to. And again, if Kylan Boswell was an adult, 21 years old or older, then I would say no problem at all. I mean, if you're an adult and you want to do that, and again, but an 18-year-old probably should not be in that setting in Las Vegas where there are cameras everywhere.
No, definitely. Probably not. Number one, Mr. Arenas, unfortunately, is unavailable to join us, so hopefully we can get him on tomorrow. But as far as Kylan goes, here's the thing, DK. I feel it's definitely inappropriate when you're a public figure like that and you're underage to be doing that. And I feel like 18-year-olds do dumb things every single day. And so to me, it's not so much that as much as if you're making the same mistakes as you get older in life, you know what I mean? I don't think it's very innocuous, a picture of somebody sitting at a table. I think pretty much every 18-year-old who's ever gone to Vegas has attempted to sit at a blackjack table. That's just what 18-year-olds do. I'm not here to speculate on what time it was or all those things. But, yeah, it's never a good look when a leader of your team, we always heard stories of the 80s where those guys would go out and get wasted on nights before NBA games or whatever. So what people do in their own time. The worst thing is, though, DK, is if you don't take it as seriously and you're not, focused and reading the scout the night before the game and you're out doing other extracurriculars and you're not ready, then you're gonna really hate that 10 years from now looking back. You know what I mean? It's really about, it's their story. Like, I've been a fan of the University of Arizona Wildcats basketball program for a long time. And many years ago, 2 or 3 decades ago, I came to the conclusion that it's not my story. I have no effect on the outcome of these games. I'm just here for the ride, observing. And those players, and especially, the 4 seniors who don't have a chance to get another shot, they're the ones who really will, be responsible for what goes down in the next 48 hours. And just to speak really quick to the U of A fans who, think of East Tennessee State, Miami of Ohio, Princeton last year, every year is individual, every year is unique. And so I don't look at early exits from the tournament as being a, quote, Arizona Wildcat thing. I mean, there's a lot of programs out there who've had a lot of early exits and also had success. So it's really just based on the team, the makeup of the individuals who are there during that game and how seriously they take it. And hopefully there aren't a lot of blackjack tables up there in Salt Lake City.
Yeah. No, I don't even think the bars stay open that late in Salt Lake
You
City.
have to have a membership. Yeah, most of the bars up there are members only type of thing. So
yeah, that they used to have that when I lived in North Carolina back in the 90s. I don't know if they still do that in North Carolina, but you had to have a membership to go into bars in, I think it might have been North Carolina and South Carolina, but for sure North Carolina when I lived there in 95, 96. I mean, it wasn't like it was hard to get one, but it was just an inconvenience that you had to actually have one to get into an establishment. But, yeah, some states are like that.
I do have some fun basketball information if you want it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Some lighthearted fun basketball information. NBA last night, Domantas Sabonis, you familiar?
Yes.
He had his 50th consecutive double-double. And that is 3 short of the
consecutive double-doubles?
50th consecutive double-double. That's correct.
Wow.
And he's 3 shy of the record. Modern record, should I say, since the ABA and NBA merged. That was 1976. The record is Kevin Love with 53 consecutive double-doubles. So Sabonis only 4 games away from breaking the modern record. Now, Wilt had 227 one time, and then he had another streak of 220 and a third streak of 131. So, yeah. But Sabonis being one of Coach Tommy Lloyd's recruits when he was up in Spokane with the Zags. So it's fun to see a guy like that. I remember I think he played off the bench for his first couple years there with the Zags. But yeah, I was reading about the story about Tommy Lloyd recruiting him, and apparently because
Utah now is he?
Kings. He plays for Sacramento. Okay. Yeah. So I was reading some stories about his funny story about when he was recruiting him. Everybody knows his dad, Arvydas Sabonis. A lot of people say might have been the greatest center of all time. Didn't get to come over to play in America till he was in his early 30s because Soviet Union stuff. Well, apparently when he went to go recruit him, Tommy Lloyd was asked, and he said, Domantas Sabonis signed with the Zags before Tommy ever met Arvydas. And that's because Arvydas and his mother, they decided that it was Domantas' choice. And they didn't want to be influential and just let the young man go and pick his own path in life. So I love that story that Tommy Lloyd, Arvydas Sabonis, one of the most famous foreign basketball players of all time. And apparently Tommy Lloyd didn't meet him until after Arvydas had already signed there with the Zags.
Wow. That is I would not, you said Kevin Love has the modern
53.
record.
Yeah, Kevin Love had 53 consecutive double-doubles. I don't have the year for that written down, but I think it was like about 9-10 years ago.
Okay, so I was wondering if that was Timberwolves Kevin Love or Cavaliers.
Got to be T-Wolves, I think.
It sounds like it probably was Timberwolves Kevin Love. But that's pretty impressive. I mean, to do that again, one of the storylines of this season was Oumar Ballo having a stretch of 9 in a row, and he's had 17 this season, just missing out on matching the Arizona club record of 10.
It was 2011 is when it ended. So yeah, Cavs. Timberwolves. Yeah.
Timberwolves. All right. Very good. All right, we're going to wrap up our coverage from out here at Tucson Country Club. It has been a great day. A little windy, but not too bad out here. We've got Jackie holding up the tent. Make sure it doesn't blow away.
By the way, DK, Domantas Sabonis leads the NBA in triple doubles this year as well.
Wow.
So if people aren't paying attention,
wait, he's in front of you.
Yes, he has more than Joker, more than anybody. Yeah, wow. 23 triple doubles this year.
Okay, very good. Tomorrow we'll be back with you. Anything we did not get to, we'll start to get into some of our football stuff tomorrow. Some of the football interviews we did this week with the assistant coaches. Some great stuff. Head on over to our Twitter account at Wildcats1290. Put up a great video of Dwayne Aquina talking about the evolution of Swarm. And you're going to want to hear that, man. Every time Dwayne Aquina talks, it's just like football gospel. I mean, you learn something about the game incredible football mind, and we're fortunate to have him on this coaching staff. Going to be fun to listen to him and watch him coach this defense up, and hopefully they'll be able to continue the fine things they did at the end of last season. But check out that piece. We've also head on over to our YouTube account at Wildcats Radio 1290. We've got our interview with Bobby Wade, U of A football class of 2002, and now back as the wide receivers coach.
Also, all the interviews from today's show are also up on our webpage and on our app as well.
All right, absolutely. J-Dub getting it done back there. We'll convene with you tomorrow at 3. Thanks to all the folks that were helping us out here today. We had Garrett, we had Jackie, we had Raul. Young lady, what's your name? Monique. We got a new staffer out here, Monique, working with us as well. Thanks to all of our guests, Jay Pennypacker, Rick LaRose, Jim Anderson, Tiger Christensen, the champion, and as well as we had Sam Summerhauser out here today. Most of all, as always, thanks to you for listening. For J.W. Madden and Cricket, my name is David Kelly. That is our time for tonight. Thank you very much for your time. We will talk to you on Wednesday, 3 p.m. DK on the Sports Tip, Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Collisions reported along 22nd Street at I-10, 22nd Street and Country Club, and also 22nd Street and Kolb Road. Also a crash at Broadway and Craycroft. Backups for Ahaway and Mission. 47 are overnight low, 74 partly cloudy tomorrow, and 68 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.